is your #1 source for everything entertainment. E-Talk, weeknights on CTV and Crave.
When you visit Baton Rouge, devouring our delicious signature fall-off-the-bone ribs is your reward. After landing the best parking spot. Our prime rib says, I did it, after being first to your meeting. By a full 30 seconds. And the seafood linguine is even tastier after your kid emptied the dishwasher. Without being asked. Celebrate every victory with passion at Baton Rouge Grill House and Bar.
Ready for thrilling shutouts and exciting power plays? Save all hockey season with a CAA hat trick. Members save big on select Ottawa Senators home games. Get $15 off Lot 4 parking at Canadian Tire Center with ticket purchase and 10% off official merch. Memberships start at $30. Join today and save 10% on new memberships. Visit caaeveryday.ca. Conditions apply.
You're listening to TSN 1200.
Lead pass to the line and coming across ice. Lorentz and Matt and Palo bang with each other. And back of his own net, here is Shabbat. He'll move this puck and then get off the ice as the puck is down to the Leaf line, but turned back the other way quickly. Shabbat can't get off. Swings it down into the Ottawa zone, and here's Manpalo to get it to the corner. Puck is sent ahead and out to center. The puck is cleared ahead by Highmore, but not out.
Greg Berube hockey here right now. Every Leaf is involved physically here. They are playing a high-intensity physical game.
Lead pass to the line for Gaudette off his stick, and Stolars clears it to the corner. Here's Carlo with it, and he's put into the boards by Gaudette. And that forces him to ice the puck and to face off back down in the Toronto zone.
All right, seeing the early stages of jitters on the big stage, certainly from Adam Gaudette. 2 touches of the puck and both passes were tape to tape, and both passes went off his stick. A little bit of the gripping the stick too tightly for some of these young players. As mentioned earlier, Dean, 12 Ottawa players in the lineup tonight making their playoff debuts.
Off the draw, back to the point. Clevin with a shot. That's knocked down before it gets to the net. Stützle gets on it, throws it towards the net. Morgan Riley knocks it away. Here's Stützle. Shovels it back in the corner. Riley back up the boards. Held in, and there's a shot knocked away by Stolars. After a tip play, back to the net. Here's Giroux, tries to swing it back in front. Knocked away from him, and Holmstrom clears it back out to center. Back into zone end. Clevin to Manpalo, up to center. Brady Tkachuk dumps the puck down inside the Toronto end.
That icing call, Dean, the Senators won a line matchup. They got their top line out there. That's still out there now, and Stützle's got a turnover.
Gets a shot away, and the save is made by Stolars. Have a good release from Tim Stützle.
It's amazing how the play can carry over from one line change to the next. The Senators' top line stayed out there. The Leafs were able to clear the zone and get their top line out, and Craig Berube will see him do this. Top line against top line, but the Leafs turned the puck over outside their blue line, and a quick counter with short ice with which to work for Tim Stützle results in Ottawa's first shot on goal, and a good save made by the chest of Anthony Stolars. Face off to his right.
Ridley Gray kicked out of the circle, so Pinto will come in and take the draw. This game brought to you in part by Bean Chevrolet Buick GMC in Carlton Place and by Gabriel Pizza. Off the draw, Leafs control. And here's Chris Tanev out to center. Tanev gets it ahead, and now Nylander to the line and in for Tavares. That's broken up, and the puck cleared back out to center. Ridley Gregg dumps it in. Everybody else changes. Stolars out of the net, runs it around the boards. Domi can't control the puck. It drifts down to the Ottawa line. And here's Shabbat through the middle of the ice. Lead pass to the line and in for Batherson. And he's knocked off the puck by Benoit. Here's Domi, and Perron comes in and makes contact there. Puck stolen away as Cousins went in and knocked it off the stick. And now here's a chance again, and in. Perron gets in. There's a shot by Cousins right on. And the save is made by Stolars.
I think that was offside, Dean, but play on.
I do too. Sanderson to Zub. Zub with a shot. Pad save is made. Loose puck in front, steered to the corner by Domi. Back along the boards, McCabe gets it to a friendly stick, and now Domi airmails it back out to center. Perron knocks it down as he ties up along the boards with Tavares. That allows Cousin to throw about 4 cross checks into the ribs of Tavares. Leafs dump it in. Benoit does. Here's Sanderson. Dumps it back to the corner. And Pinto with it now. Chips the puck ahead. Back out to the neutral zone. Ridley Gregg to the line. Tries to break in but loses the puck, and now Nyes steers it to a teammate. Matthews to center. Right side to Nyes. Nyes flips it around Sanderson. Goes to the corner. Here's Matthews with it now out of the other corner. Stops, turns, fires. Save is made by Ullmark. And he holds on. And Nyes and Sanderson meet up at the side of the net for the first time.
Good pace to this hockey game. Shots are 3-1 favoring the Senators. First shot on goal for the Leafs comes 4 minutes and 31 seconds into this hockey game, and it's an easy glove save from Linus Ullmark, and the shot was taken from Austin Matthews. Senators gave him a little bit of ice in the right face-off circle, and Matthews took advantage of it. Coming off a 78-point season for Austin Matthews, and a career high, or he tied a career high in 45 assists, but down quite low from his 69 goal total last year to 33 this year.
Face out to the right of Ullmark. Stützle will come in and take the draw. Giroux was in there but got kicked out off the face-off. Jensen tries to clear it. Didn't work, but Brady Tkachuk to center. Knocked down to the line by Stützle. Goes in to get it. Tanev in there. And Giroux puts the shoulder in on him. Tkachuk keeps it alive in the zone. Here's Giroux in the corner. Gets spun around. Tkachuk knocks it down, fires it to the net, misses. From the point, Jensen to the corner. Stützle cycles it back. Tkachuk tried to one-touch it to Giroux. Tried to give it back, puck lying in front of the Leaf goal. And now finally Marner just lobs it back out to center and down to the Ottawa line. Both teams changing, and now here's Chabot to center. Bouncing the puck ahead to the line, swept in by Perron. But the Leafs with control now as it's sent ahead back out to center. And coming through the middle, Batherson gets a hold of the puck, but as the Leafs enter, it is offside. So Thomas Chabot takes that opportunity to give Morgan Rielly a little shot as he wandered in and was the puck carrier in the offside play.
Well, there are certain players on both teams that know they are going to be targeted. Morgan Rielly is one of them. He gets an extra little shot from Thomas Chabot, but the big shot that he took already in this game was from Brady Tkachuk in behind the net. A late hit, but the officials let it go. And it was just a good physical shoulder-to-chest hit as Highmore and Robertson now exchange cross-checks in the face-off outside the Ottawa line.
Off the drop, Benoit from center dumps it down in the Ottawa zone. Here's Clevin. Clevin along the board sends the puck ahead, and it drifts back out to center. Holmberg back to get it. Lead pass out to center. He gets it back. Here's Holmberg moving in. His shot over top of the net and then hits the mesh, and we get a face-off inside the Ottawa zone. Scoreless here in period one. Nearly 6 minutes gone in the open period.
Yeah, a nice job by Adam Gaudette to get back into the lane there, Dean. He got his stick blade right in as Pontus Holmberg took that shot. That one sailed high over Linus Ullmark's blocker side and into the safety netting here. So we get a face-off. Again, offensive zone draw for the Leafs to the right of Linus Ullmark. Face-off so key for both of these hockey clubs, and both ranked very, very equally.
Off the drop, puck cleared off the glass all the way back down ice by Zub. That play whistled down, and we'll get another face-off back down again inside the Ottawa zone. And again, the Leafs are choosing the right of the Ottawa goal.
Well, strong side for John Tavares, and John Tavares comes in with a 58.3% success rate. He'll be up against Dylan Cousins. Ottawa's defensive zone face-offs, though, Dean, second in the NHL at 53.2. Unfortunately for them, Toronto's O-zone is second in the NHL as well. So that's why I say fairly equal. This is a big win, though, for Dylan Cousins.
Off the draw, Zub again puts the puck out to center. Knocked down at the line. Here's Batherson with it. Batherson shovels the puck ahead. It's chopped towards the line by Perron, but it goes up and out of play, and we'll take a break. Scoreless here in period one. You're listening to Sens Hockey on the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
Lone Star's new 3 Amigo meals from $13.99. You get chips and salsa, our new double-stacked Big Smash burger with fries and unlimited pop. Lone Star's new Big Smash, 2 handmade patties double-stacked with cheese, shredded lettuce, pickles, and secret sauce.
Hold up. Did you say chips, salsa, the Big Smash burger and fries, and unlimited pop for $13.99? Whoo, someone is getting fired over this.
New 3 Amigo meals from $13.99. Available Monday to Friday till 4 p.m. Only at Lone Star.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
Joe and Lucy needed a new roof and reached out to Alpine Credits. I flew over to help them with a home renovation loan. I suggested they transform their house into...
Certainly physically, this has been dominated by Toronto. but according to NHL stats, they've only out-hit Ottawa 5-4. Shots are 3-1, 0-0 the score. We played 6 minutes and 9 seconds, and it's been fast-paced. And folks, back in Ottawa, it's noisy in here.
What?
Well, it's noisy in here, Dean. That's the hint.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
The soundtrack of Canadian Tire Center on Thursday of next week, or of this week, coming up, has to be matched.
Leafs dumped the puck out all the way down ice. A timing play that didn't work, but still no icing call as it was tipped by Austin Matthews. Here's a centering pass for Nyes that doesn't get through. And now Stützle takes off with it. To the line and in. Plays it across Giroux. Back to Stützle. He turns it back to the point. Zoo fires it in, and Stolarz makes the catch and holds on with Brady Tkachuk right there, just daring him to drop it.
This is just textbook off the rush advancement of the puck by Ottawa. Deep in the zone. Remember, this was tipped at the center ice line, so icing was waved off. Tim Stützle is inside his face-off circle when this puck transfers to him, and away he goes. He curls inside the line, and Ottawa just goes to work here. Quick shot with Brady parked out in front. That's a nice job of tracking the puck by big goaltender Anthony Stolarz.
Off the face-off, puck in the corner, Leaf zone, cleared ahead but not out, knocked down by Cousins. Tried to get it to the net, but it's knocked down by Lawton. Now Yarncroke gets it back out to the neutral zone. Here's Jensen for Ottawa. Up the right side at center, gets the puck in deep again. Stolarz out of the net. Tees it there for Benoit, but gives it away as Cousins knocks it away from him. Now the Leafs send the puck ahead, and Lorentz moves it to the neutral zone. Back to the middle. Ekman-Larsson with a shot. Scores! Ekman-Larsson beats Ullmark glove side. 1-0 Leafs.
Well, I just finished talking about Ottawa's transition from neutral zone, or pardon me, from defensive zone to offensive zone. Stolarz makes a glove save through traffic. This was wonderful execution by the Leafs as well. And fourth line production here. Lawton, Lorentz, and then you add to the mix OEL. Oliver Ekman-Larsson goes high glove underneath the bar over the trapper of Linus Ullmark. First blood is drawn in what could be a bloodbath eventually, as Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who scored just 4 in regular season play and missed the last 4 games with an upper body injury. He was questionable going into today's game. He opens the scoring, and the home team has the 1-0 lead.
Ottawa to the line off the draw. Long wrister from Ridley Gregg, glove down by Stolarz. And now Pinto and Amadio in the Leaf crease, trying to get somebody to take the bait and do something dumb, but so far no dumbadidity from any of them.
No dumbadidity.
Dumbadidity.
Well, just good transition by the Leafs through neutral ice, hitting the Ottawa line, and the key obviously is Ekman-Larsson driving the middle lane. Took a perfect feed from Scott Lawton, who had stepped in with control of the puck over the Ottawa blue line, and he goes high glove, and on just the second Leaf shot, they have a 1-0 lead. Shots are 5-2 Ottawa, and now it's catch-up mode.
Off the draw, Tavares wins it over Pinto, and here's Carlo in the corner. Gets tied up by Ridley Gregg. Clearing attempt fails. Turnaround chance. Pinto gets a shot away. It's blocked. He gets it again. Another shot. It's blocked again. Now Domi shovels it out to center, back down to the Ottawa zone, as Sanderson gets there ahead of Nylander and chops it back out to center. Back to the line. Domi inside the zone as it knocked off his stick. And Amadio dumps it down inside the Toronto end and heads off on a change. Both teams finishing up their changes now, and here's Morgan Rielly. Bouncing it out to center. Puck is tipped down into the Ottawa end, and Matt and Palo back out to center. Along the boards, Highmore couldn't get to it. Now picked up by Zetterlund. Throws it cross ice at his own line. Clevin to the line. Puck is deflected in by Gaudette. In to get it once again. Here's Benoit. Moves the puck ahead down the left side. Here's McMahon. Gets a shot from a bad angle. Misses. And the puck rings the boards and all the way back down to the Toronto end. Simon Benoit to get it. Takes a little bump there from Highmore, and the puck lobbed again back out to center.
It's about the 5th or 6th lob dump out of the zone here by the Leafs here, wanting to eliminate any pressure at all.
Brady Tkachuk sends a shot in that hits Stolarz high. Tkachuk gets the rebound, tees it up there for Stützle. He turns back to Tkachuk, his shot right on. Puck comes off the glove of Stolarz, and it's cleared to the corner. Puck is cleared back out again.
Got to be traffic and then some around Stolarz, Dean. He's given up 2 or 3 big juicy rebounds so far.
Here's Chabot with a shot deflected. Bad angle shot, and Stützle misses the puck as it started rolling on him. Here's Nyes now trying to get it out, but he gets tied up by Ridley Gregg. Puck comes out, and now here's Matthews to center. Matthews through the neutral zone, flips the puck in, goes to get it, but Chabot first on it. Chips it back along the boards. Puck ends up in behind the net, and again, Chabot is on it. He gives it the high flip back out to center himself. Carlo knocks it down in the neutral zone. A delayed offside call gets the Leafs out of their own end. Here's Morgan Rielly to the Ottawa line. Fires it around the boards on the other side, held in by Järnkrok. Now picked up by Sanderson. Through the middle of the ice, Perron to the line, and a rolling puck is knocked down on the Leafs. Turned it back the other way. Here's Lorentz down the left side, gets in, drops it back. Lawton fires it in, loose puck on the goal line. It's knocked away. Järnkrok basically had a goal had he had 1 more inch left in the stick.
Or Jake Sanderson didn't have a stick. That was a huge stick save by Jake Sanderson to clear that puck.
I believe we're hearing sucks chant, just in case you can't really tune in. Set down into the corner. Zone. A long pass to find Max Domi. Domi trying to go to the right wing side to Nylander, but the pass was knocked. Plays it along the boards as it comes back to the point. Trapped there, and a shot by Mantipalo went wide. Into the far corner. Up by Tanev to Domi. Domi into the traffic, and it's around the boards and out into the neutral zone and down. Nylander up, forechecking. He's going to get to a loose puck on the far side to keep it in. Okay, hit there from Ridley Gregg, and it is by Ottawa. Rielly across the line, and the linesman says that was offside. Tyson Baker and Steve linesman tonight, Brian Pakmara, Garrett Rank are the referees. 1-0 Toronto. Almost 2 on a off the goal post and off the line. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365, we've got you. From game props, player props, totals, and the money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, the Stanley Cup champions, and much, much more. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. The Stanley Cup playoffs.
Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit conontario.ca.
Yes.
goes back into his own zone to pick up the puck to find Benoit. Trying to bat it in over the line was Lorenz. He does now. Lawton with a drive. Oh, and he whistled that just wide. Kept in by OEL on the far side. Into the far corner. Behind the net now for Lorenz. Centering pass went off his skate. Lorenz is going to get it again. Back to the point to OEL. Another shot of the Ottawa goal. Fourth line's been the best line on the ice.
For either team.
Played out at center right now. It's in with a weak wrist shot, and he got drilled before it ended up going up into the screen. Is that
Benoit? So Benoit first gets his stick on the attempted shot, and then just follows through with the right shoulder. I don't know which got a bigger reaction from the crowd.
I think the hit did, to be honest with you. You look at last year's roster at this time playing in game one and this year's roster, and you say physical.
Yeah. I mean, you and I are the same on this. People ask, and you have to be honest and say, well, different. If it's better.
Long shot goes well wide of the Leaf goal. Marner chipping it ahead, couldn't get it ahead, denies, and the line for Stützle. Back it goes to Giroux, cutting from a sharp angle of center, and it went back to the point. Chabot doesn't send it at the net, he sends it back. Oh, let it go. Puck comes back to the blue line, knocked down by the Maple Leafs. Ahead, it goes, Marner's got a breakaway. He's in on goal.
Stuck in their own zone until Austin Matthews gloves an attempted dump in down the boards to the left. Matthews grabs it, drops it, and Mitch Marner reads the play. He took off out of the Leaf zone. Got in behind the between center and the Ottawa blue line. Walked in on Ullmark. And I think Ullmark's thinking Deke all the way. Just flicks the wrist and puts it over the glove hand of Ullmark. 2-0 Toronto.
We'll get it. Brandon Carlo along the boards for Domi. Domi in tight, got it freed up for Carlo. Reverses it for Morgan Riley. And Riley will look up ice with a lead pass to find Johnny Tavares. His feed for Nylander didn't connect, but Nylander. And he'll send it back into his own zone. Now Willie, starting out of his zone, comes to the line with a pass in on the left wing. Pontus far corner. McMahon can't get to it, and it is played out at center ice and in over the line for Zetterlund. Point, but they don't get it out initially. Puck still free, and now here's McMahon pushing it ahead for Robertson. Gets it into the corner. McMahon around back of the net. Looks for a point man. Finds him. McCabe a drive. And that hit against the wall. He gets it freed up. Puck is pushed in along the boards into the corner and then shot down. 6:18 to play in a wild first period. Leafs have had 16 hits in the frame.
The Leafs 9-3, and yet Leafs certainly look more dangerous, haven't they?
Played out in over the line with a pass for Lawton. Couldn't get a shot away as he was too well covered. Yarncrook frees it up. But gets it back to the point. D to D, it'll come to Riley, and a shot is into the chest of Ullmark, who will hold for a This crowd going crazy here at Scotiabank Arena. A 2-0 Toronto lead on goals by Oliver Marner. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You're slowing down your productivity? As a proud Canadian company, Digital Business Systems is honored to be named the 2024 Business Partner of the Year. In collaboration
Draw to the right of Ullmark.
Shane Pinto getting from John Tavares.
Tavares scrummed the draw, but it goes back of the net. And on the far side, Shane Pinto trying to get it out, had it broken up by Willie. He went to the net hard because he was just getting to the net.
Might have blown the roof off the place.
Oh. Look at the Ottawa goal into the far corner. Sanderson got it up on the wing for Ridley Gregg. Gregg has it taken away. He did. Nylander gets it freed up. Nylander working back along the blue line, still with it. Manages to keep it in. Again. And the Senators will go back to regroup. 2-0 Toronto. 4:50 to start. Maybe too many men there, but they get away with it. Slapped into the Ottawa zone. Down the boards, it's chipped into the... just out of his reach. And out come the Senators to center ice. Giroux can't get in over the line. Marner. Tanev. He and McCabe will exchange the disc. Tanev has it in front of his own goal. Turns back. Leafs are changing. Laid out. Yarncrook sending it into the zone. Lorenz backhands back of the net. Cut off there by Lawton. Couldn't get it in front. Will play it up the boards and out at center. Another good hit. Leafs as Batherson comes in with a shot that was blocked. Far corner in the Senators centering with a pass. Knocked away. Still free. They score. Great Batherson. And it was unfortunate. Stolarz looked like he was going to get his glove on it.
Fairly harmless looking shot. Stolarz gets his left pad on it. And then the puck bounces in front. It's just poked in by Batherson, blocker side. And the Ottawa board. And have sliced the Leafs lead in the half, 2-1 Toronto.
16-16 the top. The regular regular season, 27 goals and 68 points. Or 26 goals and 68 points, sorry. The Battle of Ontario is now fully engaged. Both teams have scored.
That might settle Ottawa down too, Joe.
Right. The line for McMahon. Senators go back. Clevin given a jolt there by McMahon. Cadet gets it to center and in on the right wing for Zetterlund. Zetterlund driving the net with a shot. A big scramble in front is broken up and out. From behind and tackled. The puck goes in over the line and Pontus Holmberg couldn't quite contain it. Now back of the Ottawa goal. Back to the point, it'll come to Chris Tanev. Dished off to Domi. Domi's wrist shot off of the net. Knocked down on the play was Pontus Holmberg, and the Sens will get it off a stick. Look out, that's going into the Leaf bench. Play will be brought back into the center ice area just in front of the Ottawa bench. Drawing the assist on the goal.
It really looked like one that Anthony Stolarz with Morgan Riley as to who is going to play it, but that little hesitation by both allowed Batherson to jump in and poke it on.
But they get the puck down into the Toronto end. Played back of the net and up on the boards now for Nylander. Nylander goes. Will get to center and shoot it in. On the far boards, Tavares unable to reach it. Nylander tips it back of the goal. Can't get there. But it's going to go the length of the ice. Now with 2:13 to go in the first period, we have an icing call coming against the Ottawa.
The Senators are able to bang one in on Anthony Stolarz. Stolarz comes into this a goals against average of 1.37, 964 save percentage in that streak.
Point played off on the wing for Marner. Centering pass in front, comes back to the blue line, just kept in on that. By Olmark, then he had to get a glove on it.
Not sure if
Oliver Ekman-Larsson got it through.
Boston action. And it would appear that the defense score is going to change. Matthews Cave come out to man the points. 2:03 to go in the first. Good energy by the Leafs.
Leafs win the draw. Shot goes off a leg and breaks the skate of. It comes out at center ice, and here's Tkachuk in on the left wing for Shane Pinto. A backhand shot is stopped. Brady Tkachuk accidentally fell down and bumped into Stolarz. Sure, it wasn't intended.
I don't know if that's going to get an Oscar.
No, I don't think
so. And then Shane Pinto comes in.
Lost an edge and...
Or you know what? I think he may have taken a little stick across the neck, upper chest area from McCabe, and that's what brought him down.
Well, we'll get a face-off to the right. Well, yeah, I think you might be right, because Claude Giroux's having a word right now with Garrett Rank, and it's not about Garrett's golf game. Face-off will be to the right of Stolarz. Stutz was back out with a new blade.
Well, that is a big question, though, Gord. Which guy on the ice tonight has the better golf game? Is it Drake Batherson or is it Rank? Now, Rank is actually ranked in Canada, but Drake is a real scratch golfer, not one of those phony made-up handicaps. He actually is a scratch golfer. So, off the draw, Chabot runs the puck around the boards. Jensen down the other side holds it in. Puck is cleared back out to center, and here's Chabot. Rolling puck, taps it back to Giroux, gets to center, and lobs it back down inside the Leaf end. Brady Tkachuk in to get it. And the Leafs now break it out at center. Here's Ekman-Larsson, takes a drop pass from Marner. Marner gets it back. Marner along the boards as the puck slashed off his stick by Stützle. Stützle tries to dig it out. Lorentz kicks the puck back along the boards, and here's Giroux. Sends the puck ahead, back to the line and out. And the Leafs recovered in the neutral zone again. Benoit fires it in the Ottawa end. Up the boards, back out to center. Final minute of play here in period number 1. Here's Lawton through the middle of the ice to Carlo. And Brandon Carlo fires it back in the Ottawa end. Here's Clevin. Sends the puck ahead as Järnkrok chops it at him. Puck comes free. Lawton trying to hold it in and does. Morgan Rielly now lobs one to the side of the Ottawa goal. Jensen back of his own net. Comes out with it. Gives it to Cousins. Cousins to the line and in. Puck is knocked down, but not out of the zone. Now it's out of the zone and lying in the neutral zone. Nylander trying to get a hold of it. Flips it back into his own end. And Morgan Rielly now skates it back to center. Through the middle of the ice. Tavares sends it to the corner for Domi. Puck is knocked away from him by Zub, and now Sanderson sends it to the line.
Oh, boy.
But not out. Now Ridley Gregg boots the puck ahead, and that'll do it for period 1. A 1-goal lead for the Leafs after 20 minutes.
Well, not a bad period for the Ottawa Senators. Despite giving up 2 goals in the first 3 shots, they were the better of the teams physically, or not physically, but in the offensive zone. They clearly had a shot advantage of 13-5, better scoring opportunities. They made 2 mistakes, though, that the Leafs capitalized on. Only 5 shots on goal in total for the Toronto Maple Leafs in this first period. They will enjoy this 2-1 lead for the next 18 minutes, but then I'm guessing Ottawa will not change a thing, Dean, as far as their offensive zone game time is, or game prep is presented, because they've done a lot of good things right here in this first period.
So at the end of 1 here at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, the Leafs with a 2-1 lead. Coming up, our first intermission with Graham and Brad, brought to you by the Myers Automotive Group. You're listening to Sens Hockey on the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network. Pure Water, proudly owned and operated right here in Canada's capital for 38 years. It's spring, and that means we're celebrating our Buyer's Choice Hot Tub event. What does that mean to you? Well, nothing but Canadian goodness. 0% financing for 12 months, or we pay the tax on any hot tub. Either way, you get to soak away spring in a brand new hot tub at a sensational price. Pure Water Total Home Leisure, 2070 Robertson at Moody and Bell's Corners. You, your family, and fun. It's what we do.
Order up for Damien.
Hey, how did your doctor's appointment go, by the way? Did you ask about Rybelsus?
Actually, I'm seeing my doctor later today.
Did you say Rybelsus? My dad's been talking about Rybelsus.
Rybelsus? Really?
Yeah, he says it's a pill
That's right. Did you know it's also covered by most private insurance plans?
Well, I'll definitely be asking my doctor if Rybelsus is right for me.
Rybelsus. Ask your doctor or visit rybelsus.ca.
Order up for Rybelsus.
Playoff hockey returns to the nation's capital. Quick shot, scores! Brady Tkachuk with an overtime game winner!
Good gravy.
Your Ottawa Senators have officially clinched their spot in the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let's go! Here we go!
To secure your playoff seats now and lock in the best price on these tickets, become a season seat member. Here's Shabbat, game on the stick, scores! Canadian Tire Center is going to be on fire, so be there to witness the atmosphere. Visit senators.com/memberships.
Lone Star's new 3 Amigo meals from $13.99. You get chips and salsa, our new double-stacked Big Smash burger with fries, and unlimited pop. Lone Star's new Big Smash, 2 handmade patties, double-stacked with cheese, shredded lettuce, pickles, and secret sauce.
Hold up. Did you say chips, salsa, the Big Smash burger and fries, and unlimited pop for $13.99? Woo, someone is getting fired over this.
New 3 Amigo meals from $13.99. Available Monday to Friday till 4 p.m. Only at Lone Star.
Are you tossing and turning at night? Unable to sleep because of mounting debt? Debt can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to face it alone. I am Natalie Faubert, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO, here in Ottawa. I am here to guide you every step of the way so you can find peace of mind and finally rest easy. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book a free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
TSN 1200, home of the Sens. Sens Intermission on TSN 1200 is brought to you by the Myers Automotive Group. Now, here's the play of the period.
Here's Lawton back to the net, gets tied up. Back Batherson steals the puck and flips it back the other way to Shabbat. Steers the puck out to center. Cousins tips it ahead. Batherson to the line and in. Gets in, gets a shot. Pad save is made. Stolars gets the blocker and the pad on it. Stolen back. Pinto back in front. Cousins gets a shot away. Bobble. Scores! Rebound goal for Batherson.
Yeah, real nice work by Ottawa's second line. Nice play by Perron to get a puck from the wall to the high slot to Cousins, and Batherson beats Morgan Riley to the net for the rebound and pokes it past Stolars for his first career playoff goal as the play of the period. First period scoring summary time. Oliver Ekman-Larsson from Lawton and Yarncroke at 7:09 made it 1-0 Leafs, and then Marner from Matthews on a breakaway at 12:18 gave the Leafs a 2-0 lead. Despite getting outshot 9-3 at the time, it was 2-0 Leafs. Then Batherson from Cousins and Perron at 16:18 cut the lead in half, 2-1. That's where we stand through 20 minutes. Shots on goal, 13-5 Senators. There have been no power plays so far in this game. This game is brought to you in part by Terry's Rugs and by St. Hubert Barbecue Chicken Ribs Hockey. We would like to welcome everyone listening along the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators radio network, including Lanark and Leeds 88.1 My FM, Sirius XM NHL Radio, TSN1200.ca, and Sens fans listening on our flagship station right here in Ottawa, Sports Radio TSN 1200. Coming up, the TSN 1200 St. Hubert Barbecue Out-of-Town scoreboard, and we'll analyze the first period with Brad Smith. This is Sens Hockey in the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators radio network.
Tariffs aren't an issue when you shop with GC Flooring. They've got you covered with a massive selection and the best deals guaranteed. GC is a local family-operated business stocking hundreds of thousands of square feet of quality brands of LVT, laminate, and hardwood at unbeatable prices. GC Flooring, where family values meet unbeatable prices. Spend less, get more for your money. 60 Colonnade and at gcflooring.ca.
Tonight, when your head hits the pillow, appreciate that you have a pillow. And if you get up to use the bathroom, be thankful you have a bathroom. Because things you take for granted are not granted to everyone. What else are you taking for granted? Don't let homelessness assumptions get in the way of homelessness solutions. Go to CanadaCanDoIt.ca. Help the Canadian Alliance to end homelessness.
This is the sound of medicine. When you stay at a Ronald McDonald House, close to your sick child, family is medicine. And right now, it's helping Ryan battle leukemia. We need your help to keep families together. Please donate today at rmhc.ca.
How can you protect your keys? Simply attach a War Amps key tag to your key ring. If you lose your keys, the finder can call the number on the back of the tag or drop them in any mailbox, and the War Amps will return them to you by courier for free. Today, the key tag service is more important than ever with the high replacement cost of keys and remote devices. War Amps key tags. They're free and they work. Order yours at waramps.ca and help make a difference in the lives of amputees.
Looking for your next vehicle? Come home to Myers Automotive Group, locally owned for over 80 years and proudly serving Ottawa-Gatineau with 17 locations. Over 2,600 vehicles in stock. We have what you're looking for. Choose from Nissan, Toyota, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Dodge, Jeep, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Infiniti, Ram, Chrysler, and Subaru. And we've got you covered long after the sale. We service all makes and models.
TSN 1200, home of the NFL. Back to Sens Hockey on TSN 1200. Now let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard. Brought to you by St. Hubert Barbecue, Chicken, Ribs, and Hockey.
Great shooter. Two other Stanley Cup playoff games today. One of them this afternoon. Hurricanes dominate the Devils 4-1. They outshoot them 45-24.
Yeah, Hurricanes played well today, but Devils are just a tough one for them. Significant injuries near the end of the season puts them behind the.
So the Canes with a 1-0 series lead there. Game one of Golden Knights Wild. 10 o'clock start from Vegas. The Golden Knights 50, 22, and 10 on the year. Minnesota 45, 30, and 7. The Americans beat Canada 4-3 in overtime to win the Women's World Hockey Championship and to the NBA playoffs, where earlier today, the Thunder with a massive 51-point win, 131-80 over the Grizzlies to take a 1-0 series lead over Memphis. The Celtics have a 1-0 series lead on Orlando thanks to a 103-86 win. The Cavs are up 58-45 on the Heat with about 3.5 minutes left in the first half in their game one of their first round series, and Rockets and Warriors 9:30 tip from Houston. The Jays, tough day. They fall 8-3 to the Mariners. Back in Toronto, Senators trail 2-1 after 20 minutes, Shooter, and I thought it was a pretty good first period from Ottawa in terms of, hey, like most of the guys in the lineup, they're playing their first playoff game. They're out shooting the Leafs 13-5, but 2 breakdowns led to 2 goals. What did you see on that first one, a fourth-line goal for the Leafs?
The combination on the first one was bad gap control by Thomas Chabot and Nick Jensen, specifically Chabot there. Tough period for that tandem in general. But the second layer of offense coming up the ice beat the back checkers of the Sens. Your fourth and fifth guys, and Ekman Larsson walked right down Broadway and beat Allmark with a good shot. So that was the first goal. The second goal, Mitch Marner gets in behind the defense. It's an unreal pass by Austin Matthews up the middle of the ice, but you don't like to see one guy getting behind both your defensemen.
Yeah, it was a play. Stützle comes back to Jensen, and he goes to dump it back in the corner. Yeah. Matthews grabs it off the wall, and then Marner, who was coming to check Jensen, kind of slips behind him, and a great feed by Matthews, and Marner goes and beats Omar glove side. What did you think of Omar's first period? Both goals beat him to the glove side.
It was okay. There was another one that it almost squeaked through that hit the post too. Maybe you'd like to see him make that glove save, bail out your team a little bit. Then we're not talking about the first goal. Second goal, can't do too much about. That's a highly skilled pass and goal. But I did like the Sens' response to it, specifically the Cousins line. Who this is their trademark. A good cycle. They get it out in the slot. It's a second opportunity. Stolarz doesn't handle the rebound, and Drake Batherson, we talked about pregame show, there's no quit in his game lately, and he goes right to the right spot, and he just kind of knifes it over him, and it's a grinding goal, and you're going to need a couple more of those.
So Stolarz has 12 saves in that first period, but I found that when pucks were getting put on him, they kind of bounced off him a little bit. Like, what would be your mindset as a shooter for the Senators right now? Just kind of how he was handling in that first period.
More of it. And also when the defense pinch, shooting off the net, because it looks like he's losing his angle a little bit. The Sens are making a conscious effort to get to the crease area. Toronto's doing their best to box them out, but you'll get that bounce if you keep delivering pucks to the net. What
did you think of the Stützle line and for him and Tkachuk, their first playoff action, first period?
Pretty solid. And I like the physicality. Tim Stützle had 4 hits that period. Not that you want him out there running guys. A couple shots on goal. And you think that they're making quick enough decisions from the hash marks down that something's going to pop for them here in the second or third period.
Anyone else stand out, whether it's good or bad, from Sens' perspective in that period?
I like Cleven's ability to talk about he's like a human eraser when he's playing well and boxing guys out. And I think for the most part, that third pairing has done their job on defense.
We talked a lot about Zetterlund and potentially moving up the lineup at some point. So he did get a shift in Perron's spot with that Cousins line. And then right after the next shift for that line, they ended up scoring. And then he had a pretty good rush down the right side and put the puck on net. There was a rebound, but it got cleared, and then he had a great job on the back check. He looks really engaged in that first 20 minutes.
He does, and this is where if he, like he did in the regular season, if he continues to bide his time and playing like that big, strong north-south game, he's 220-pound body, very tough to knock off the puck and very stable on his feet. If he keeps playing like that, it becomes a situation where the coach can't ignore it anymore, and they have to play him more.
So pretty good first period, despite the 2 breakdowns, and both of them end up in the back of the net. But then you cut the lead in half, and it's 2-1. You get 40 minutes left. They get 20 minutes under their belt for all the guys that hadn't experienced this before. What are they feeling now, and what are you expecting in the second period?
Well, I'm expecting that the nerves will be a little bit less, and that they'll just go out and play. You saw there, Creech, 3 or 4 times we looked at each other where the passing was off, uncharacteristically off. There was almost a too many men penalty on an errant pass. So just a little more flow to their game. They get the nerves out, the physicality's there, and just do things out of instinct.
Game 1, round 1, Battle of Ontario, 20 minutes in the books. The first intermission has been brought to you by the Myers Automotive Group. Coming up, it's the second with Dean and Gord. At the end of the first period, the score is 2-1 Maple Leafs. You're listening to Sens Hockey on the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
Ready for thrilling shutouts and exciting power plays? Save all hockey season with a CAA hat trick. Members save big on select Ottawa Senators home games. Get $15 off Lot 4 parking at Canadian Tire Center with ticket purchase and 10% off official merch. Memberships start at $30. Join today and save 10% on new memberships. Visit CAAeveryday.ca. Conditions apply.
I'm standing and cheering for Canada. Hi, this is Chantal Kreviazik. It's not our way to boast, but Canadians are standing strong from coast to coast to coast to protect Canadian jobs and support Canadian businesses for this country that only us command. Shop as if your country depends on it. Keep your money in Canada for Canada.
From the WHL to the OHL and the QMJHL.
Scores!
The League Championship Series.
Could be the dagger!
Culminating with the Memorial Cup.
You couldn't script this any better!
CHL Hockey lives on TSN and TSN+.
Hi, Arash Madani here. At Honda, they built the CR-V Sport just like you'd build a team for the playoffs. Reliable performance? It's a Honda. Versatility? You've got all-wheel drive. High IQ plays? That's Honda sensing technology. Resilience and grit? You bet. After all, it's Canadian. Make your playoff drive count. Bring home the Ontario-built CR-V Sport. Lease today with rates from 0.99% for 24 months. OAC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
Foreigner.
You're as cold as
The Jukebox Hero Tour. October 28th. The Arena at TD Place. With special guest, 5440. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.ca.
Hey, I'm Dwayne. The inside of my garage is where I keep my tools, tires, hockey gear, and of course, my truck, which I always get serviced at Canada's Garage, Canadian Tire. But, and most importantly, the outside door is always the road hockey net. Nice shot, Amber.
Thanks, Dwayne. And you too, Amber.
No probs.
At Canada's Garage, we have over 150 bays in the Ottawa area, experienced service technicians, and great deals year-round. Just check the website for what's on right now. Canadian Tire, Canada's Garage.
TSN 1200, home of the Red Blacks.
All right, welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto, everybody. Gord Wilson alongside Dean Brown getting set for period number 2. 20 in the books here, and it's a 2-1 Leaf lead. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead on goals from Ekman Larsson at 7:09 and Marner at 12:18. It was 2-0 Toronto, and the Senators looking down the barrel of an ugly score here if they had made it 3-0. But Drake Batherson scored his first ever playoff goal from Cousins and Perron at 16:18, and the Senators with new life going into this second period. Ottawa outshot Toronto 13-5. The hit count 41 in total, 21 for Toronto, 20 for the Senators. Blocked shots even at 6 apiece. The Toronto Maple Leafs did have the edge in face-offs, though. Dean, they won 57% of the draws. Shots on goal 13-5, favoring the Senators. What do you think of the over-under here, Dean? It started at 5.5, did it not?
She is going up, my friend. Yes, started the game at 5.5 as we entered the second period. Over-under creeping up to 7.5. Reminder, you can make every moment more on FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, download the app. It is simple and easy to use.
All right, the Senators went into the locker room down by 1, and it's a one-shot game now. And I got to be honest with you, Dean, I think they felt pretty good about how they played in that first period. The Mitch Marner goal could have been avoided. He had a breakaway from center ice in on a perfect feed from Austin Matthews. It was offensive zone pressure that led to from the point a turnover on the half boards, and Marner crept out and snuck in between both Jensen and Shabbat, who are both -2 here in this hockey game. This second is underway with the play-by-play. Here's Dean.
And the Leafs send it down to the Ottawa line and in. Here's Giroux back in his own zone, taps it back of the net. And Sanderson turns away from a hit from Nyes and sends it around the boards for Giroux, who clears the puck ahead, and then he gets smoked by McCabe. Back at the other end, Brady Tkachuk puts Matthews into the boards as the puck is sent back out to center and down to the Ottawa line. Here's Zub now. Head to Sanderson. Sanderson gets to the line, dumps it in. But McCabe knocks it down and now clears it down to the Ottawa line for Nyes. He slides the puck into the Ottawa zone. Zub ties up along the boards, and Brady Tkachuk sends it all the way back down ice. This will be an icing call, and a face-off back down inside the Senators' end.
Now this is a 49-second shift for Jake Sanderson. He is going to have to remain out. Same for Artem Zub. Brady Tkachuk, the lone member of the Stützle-Giroux trio that's left out there for this defensive zone faceoff for the Senators. Pinto against Tavares.
Off the drop, puck to the corner, but Domi first on it. Here's Nylander along the boards. Nylander back to the point. Nylander turns again. Nylander spins off a check from Pinto. Sends it around the boards on the other side. Here's Morgan Riley. Loses the puck. Brady Tkachuk steals it. Tkachuk bury in. Tkachuk hit shot. Save is made by Stolars.
What a great burst of speed from Brady Tkachuk as he heads off here. That's the end of a long shift for him.
Here's Nylander back the other way. Moves in his shot. Off the stick of Ullmark. Back to the net. Nylander gets it again. Bounces the puck to the side of the net. Out the other side. Centering pass knocked down. Tavares denied by a sprawling Ullmark.
Desperation save. Boy, oh boy, that was a dandy from Ullmark.
Puck is dumped down in the Leaf zone. Ridley Gregg sends it to the corner. Ekman Larsson tries to throw a hit on him and wipes himself out. And now back in his own zone. Here's Benoit with it.
5-hole try from Brady Tkachuk on the breakaway, Dean. Denied by the big pads of Anthony Stolars.
Clearing attempt by Shabbat fails. There's a quick shot, a high riser from Lorentz that just misses. Off the boards now. Here's Shabbat. To the line and in. Tipped in by Gaudette. McCabe goes in to get it. Zetterlund puts the shoulder into him. Pass back to the point and coming across Clevens. He drives Lorentz off the puck as Matt and Palo back in the zone end. Slides the puck across. There's Cleven back of his own net. Leafs changing, as is Ottawa, so Cleven just waits that out. Now Cleven dishes it off, and the puck steered all the way back down ice. Icing waved off as Perron sent it into the Leaf zone off his skate. Holmberg along the boards. Puck is knocked down as it hits the referee in the corner. Now a clearing attempt fails, and Perron ends up with it. Back to the point. And there was a shot by Cousins. Didn't get through. Another shot, that one from Sanderson. Missed high. Puck tipped off the boards, back out to center. And here's Dylan Cousins back in his zone end to get it. Cross to Sanderson. Clears the puck through the neutral zone. It is picked up there by Robertson. Morgan Riley now sends a slow roller into the Ottawa zone. Sanderson around the boards, and he takes a good shot there from Bobby McMahon. Here's Sanderson under siege from Morgan Riley, who wins the puck, sends it back in front of the Ottawa goal. Now stolen away. Pinto back up ice to Ridley Gregg. Ridley Gregg tries to go back through the middle, and Ekman Larsson breaks it up. Centering pass back to the point. Amadio with a shot. That's blocked by Nice. Back in front. Pinto with a shot. Save is made by Stolars.
Oh, what a come across from Anthony Stolars, and 2 huge saves here in the first 3 minutes and 45 seconds of this period from the Toronto netminder to keep it a 2-1 game and give him a ton more confidence. He stops a point-blank breakaway by Brady Tkachuk in the first minute 15, and then a point-blanker again from 25 feet out by Shane Pinto, and Stolars collapsed outside the blue paint, square to the puck, and made a beautiful save going from left to right to deny Shane Pinto the equalizer in the early stages of this second period.
Face-off to the right of Stolarz. Stutzle in the face-off circle, loses the draw to Scott Lawton. Not cleared around the boards, but not out. Now it's cleared out, and Shabbat picks it up at his own line. Ahead to Brady Tkachuk, who whips it back down inside the Toronto end. Stolarz back along the boards, but gives it away. And we're going to get a penalty call here, and I believe it's going to go to Tim Stutzle. And the first power play of this game will go to the Leafs. Stutzle will head off, and it happened behind the play. I got to tell you, I don't know exactly what the call is, but we'll find out here momentarily.
Yeah, Garrett Rank keeping us all in mystery.
2 minutes boarding.
2 minutes for boarding. Scott Lawton on the receiving end of that boarding penalty here, and well, left his feet ever so slightly. Sorry, it was Chris Tanev on the receiving end of that. Lawton came in to have a few words, I think, for Mr. Stutzle. He did leave his feet, and
legit call.
Yeah, I guess so. So power play chance number 1 of this game goes to the Leafs. They have limped into the playoffs with power play that's gone 0 for 10 in their last 4 games.
Penalty kill brought to you by Alpine Credits. Face off to the right of Ullmark. Tavares wins the draw over Claude Giroux. Pass to the middle, redirected in front, scores! Tavares gets his own rebound, 3-1 lead.
Well, that took all of 9 seconds, and it's the little things that the Senators are losing here, and well, it's not so little. It's a face-off win again by Toronto. I had mentioned they had won 57% of the draws. They win this face-off with ease and gain control of the puck. Shot comes through. It gets deflected off Tavares into the chest of Linus Ullmark, but before he could react to get himself square again, Tavares is on it and pokes this by him. He got his own rebound, basically, and beat Ullmark low glove side this time, and it's a 3-1 Toronto lead. That's a huge goal. The Senators have 2 shots on goal this period, 2 when it was 2-1, and both were point-blank chances to tie the hockey game. Stolarz denies. Toronto comes back down on a power play and makes it a
So the Leafs now with 3 goals on just 8 shots in this game. But they have been very opportunistic. Off the face-off again. Leafs put it inside the zone. Lawton dumps it in. Puck along the boards, and Batherson clears it back out to center. At center now. Puck is heaved high in the air by Benoit. Back into the Ottawa end. Jensen back to the net. Tried to get it to Shabbat. Got bound up, though. Now Shabbat chips it to the boards. Perron ties up his man. Shabbat again sends the puck ahead. Now Ottawa breaks it out as Jensen airmails it back down to the Leaf zone. Puck is gloved to the boards as Cousins tries to knock Benoit off the puck. Puck is sent back out to center. Here's Perron dumping it back into his zone end for Matt and Palo. His lead pass to the line for Cousins, interrupted by Ekman Larsson. And now here's Holmberg back with it. Right side of the Ottawa line, dumps it to the corner. Here's Shabbat. Shovels it around the boards in Giroux. Steers the puck ahead, can't get it out. On the other side again, here's Shabbat. Through the middle of the ice, and now Giroux tries to weave it across, and his pass hits a skate. And again, Ottawa loses possession. Tanev from center. Heaves it back down inside the zone. Sanderson steers the puck ahead, and Ottawa breaks it out. Lead pass to the line. Here's Brady Tkachuk. Gives it back. Stutzle inside. Loses the puck. It's cleared off the boards. Back to center as Tkachuk dives to try and hold it in, but can't. Offside the call, and a face-off back outside the zone. This game brought to you in part by Audi Ottawa, Audi City Ottawa, and Audi West Ottawa.
Well, Brady's noticed. Yeah, here in the building, another chant that Brady sucks. And I'm guessing Austin Matthews will hear all about that on Thursday night at Canadian Tire Center. Second 2-goal lead for Toronto in this hockey game, so needless to say, I'll be Captain Obvious again and say next goal is huge in the contest.
Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
Mitch Marner with a goal and a helper in this game so far. Back to the point, here's Sanderson. Whips it across. Zub throws it in front, knocked down, and the pass intended for Pinto. Hit him in the skate. It's Ridley Gregg. Tried to send it back for Amadio. And then behind the play, Ridley Gregg is going to take a penalty here as he was hit, and then he retaliated. Ekman Larsson is down, and the trainer's coming over the boards. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I believe John Tavares is leaking a bit in the corner, so he gets up. He seems to be okay. No, not leaking. He's not bleeding at all, so just shaken up somehow.
Well, Ridley Gregg's heading to the penalty box here. Brady Tkachuk is going over to talk to the officials. They're having a discussion here, Dean, and they may be thinking that maybe this is more than just 2 minutes. Tavares came in to make a check, and Gregg got his stick up, caught him in the chin area and side of the head. It's clearly a cross-checking penalty, without question. Tavares is up and okay, but the officials are really, really discussing this. We're going to listen in here to hear what Garrett Rank has to say.
Ottawa, number 71, has been assessed a 5-minute major. The
play is under review, but this on the ice is a 5-minute major with 14 minutes to go in the second period, and the Leafs with a 3-1 lead. Ridley Gregg's night could be done.
Well, and if it is, and the 5 stands, don't forget that is a 5-minute continuous power play for the Leafs. If they score, it does not end. It's 5 continuous minutes of power play time if this call stands. Now, when they go to review, that means they've established that it's 5, and if it is 5, it's 5 in a game. But they can also look at it and downgrade it to a double minor or downgrade it to a simple minor. So we'll see if they do, but they've already established that it's 5 in a game, and we'll see if it goes down from there.
Yeah, and one of the changes that the league made in the offseason was allow the officials to review it. I mean, it's a fast game, right? You sometimes see peripheral vision. Let's listen again. Voice of Garrett Rank.
After video review, Ottawa, number 71, has been assessed a 2-minute minor penalty for cross-check.
So it goes from being a 5-minute penalty and a game ejection down to a double minor, and then down to a simple minor for cross-checking. And I think probably the biggest reason was he did not plan to do it. It was a reaction to being checked and somebody going to hit him high, and he hit him high back. So I think that's why it's gone from being a 5 in a game to a simple minor penalty.
Well, this can be a huge turning point in the hockey game. Not needless to say, it's another power play for Toronto. They needed 9 seconds to score their first power play goal to make it a 3-1 game. Face-off will be to the right of Linus Ullmark.
Penalty kill brought to you by Alpine Credits. Claude Giroux wins the draw. Puck in behind the net, sent around the boards, back down ice by Thomas Chabot.
And a good start here. Ottawa will kill the first 9 seconds of this one.
Back to center with it now. Here's Nylander to the line. Cross to Matthews along the boards for Nyes. Loses the puck, and it's back out to center. Here's Highmore. Carries it to the line, and he gets wiped out at the line. Here's Giroux, though. Drops it back to his own end to waste some time. Sanderson hurries back to pick it up. Now off the boards, back down ice once again. In the neutral zone now. Here's Tavares to the line. Carries it in, goes to the wing for Nylander. Puck is knocked away from him by Pinto, who slaps it back out and down to the Toronto end.
Gaudette replacing Ridley Gregg on the penalty kill pairing with Shane Pinto, Dean.
Minute gone, minute to go in this Ottawa penalty. Clearing the attempt by Pinto fails. And here's Nylander along the boards. Nylander goes low. Nyes in front for the bang-bang play, and Tavares gets a piece of it. Puck comes free to the corner. And a penalty call is on the way against Gaudette as he cross-checked Matthews into the corner and then gives him a punch. Gaudette is going to go, and there's going to be 44 seconds of 5-on-3 power play time for the Leafs, and they are drooling in anticipation.
Well, it's drooling and unraveling, and the Senators need to compose themselves here, Dean. This is all about composure, and right now the Senators are losing theirs. Brady Tkachuk again wanting to talk to the officials.
Ottawa penalty, number 81, 2 minutes, cross-checking.
Cross-checking goes to Gaudette. Brady now gets a chance to speak. Yeah, from behind, close to the boards here against the star player. It's going to get called every time, whether you like it or not. Matthews got upended. Cross-check from behind here, and
Toronto has called a timeout to try and map out a plan to take immediate advantage of this 5-on-3. And, of course, the penalty kill, as always, brought to you by Alpine Credit. So right now they are mapping out a strategy because obviously they want to try and get 2. They want to get 1 before the first power play comes to an end so they can be on the power play successively twice.
Well, the Senators have done a terrific job killing the first 1 minute and 16 seconds of Ridley Gregg's 2-minute cross-checking penalty. But it's just extra work here now with 12:44 to go in this second period. The Leafs with a 3-1 lead thanks to John Tavares' goal from Nylander and Marner at 4:07. That was a power play goal. And Ottawa, that came just after Ottawa had 2 glorious opportunities in the first 4 minutes of the second period to tie this game. Anthony Stolar's large. Shots are now 15-9 favoring Ottawa. Face off to the right of who should be the best penalty killer here in this 5-on-3. Linus Ullmark settles in.
Face-off, scores! Nylander off the face-off. 4-1 Leafs, and they stay on the power play.
Well, he scored 45 this season, including 12 with the man advantage. Not sure how many of those might have been on the 5-on-3, but the ice just opened up for him. And again, it's a face-off win for Toronto, and Linus gets blown by blocker's side this time. I think it was Austin Matthews, Dean, yeah, it was, settling in the face-off circle to the left of Ullmark. And no doubt, peripheral vision, Ullmark would have seen Austin Matthews with the stick high in the air and waiting for, in anticipation, a potential pass from Nylander. And there was hesitation perhaps from Ullmark to get completely square to the puck in anticipation of having to perhaps move laterally from right to left. He didn't have to, well, he didn't move the right way because this one went low blocker side. 4-1 Toronto leads. They remain on the power play.
Leafs have now scored 4 on 10 shots.
That's not playoff winning goaltending right there. But they have been glorious chances here too for Toronto.
Again, this power play, or penalty kill rather, brought to you by Alpine Credits as Matthews re-enters the zone. Here's Marner, sends it to the boards again for Nylander. His shot, that one goes off the shoulder of Ullmark, back to the point. Matthews to Marner on the point. Gets it across to Tavares with a shot. Blocker saved by Ullmark. To the corner, puck along the boards. Pinto takes a slap at it, can't get it out. Here's Nylander in behind the net. Nylander out the other side with it. Sweeps it back to the point. Marner to Nylander. Goes low, goal mouth chance, knocked down. Puck is free, steered to the boards, but not out by Ridley Gregg.
Ullmark with a great stick, top of the crease to intercept that pass.
Marner tries to send a puck in front. It's knocked down, but not out. Marner again to Tavares. His shot knocked down by Ullmark.
Dean, these are just look what hit me saves here. He's not moving at all. He's not seeing anything.
To the corner. Matthews on the goal line. Matthews sends a shot in. Ullmark takes it in the face. Matthews again. Cuts through. His shot goes off a leg. Pinto clears it back out. 30 seconds to go in the Toronto power play.
Honest to goodness, Dean, there were 2 shots that Linus had no clue where they were coming from, and they just, fortunately for him, just hit him.
Leafs back to the line and in. Back of the net. Puck sent around the boards and back down ice by Shabbat. Leafs will not get another full rush out of the man advantage. As Gaudette is back out now. Puck is cleared along the boards and the Leafs hold it in. Here's Robertson and he gets blown apart by Jensen back to the point. Here's a chance by OEL. Save is made. Ullmark gloves it and then slashes Domi on his way by. 4-1 Leafs lead here in period number 2 with 10:38 remaining and a face-off when we come back. You're listening to Sens Hockey on the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
Hi, Arash Madani here. At Honda, they built the CR-V Sport just like you build a team for the playoffs. Reliable performance? It's a Honda. Versatility? You've got all-wheel drive. High IQ plays? That's Honda sensing technology. Resilience and grit? You bet. After all, it's Canadian. Make your playoff drive count. Bring home the Ontario-built CRV Sport. Lease today with rates from 0.99% for 24 months. OAC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
Hi, it's Keith and April from Bean Chevrolet Buick GMC. With so much going on, we want everyone to know it's super service as usual at beancars.ca.
Yes, we can tackle virtually any issue customers have with a car, truck, or SUV.
And with our truck center now fully staffed, we're doing safeties on trucks right up to 5 tons.
We increase our inventory of parts and tires before tariffs so we can keep prices down longer.
Our collision center is ready to handle any accident repairs you need.
And we can even crown spray your vehicle at Almont Crown.
Book an appointment online today at beancars.ca.
Hello, this is Patrick McGarry of Host Playfair and McGarry Funeral, Cremation, and Celebration of Life Services. Our May 14th webinar is about passing down family properties. It will provide valuable insights into the legal, financial, and emotional considerations in generational property transfers, such as family cottages, houses, farms, and condos. Participation May 14th at 6:30 p.m. is free. To obtain the link, visit our website, hpmcgarry.ca. That's hpmcgarry.ca. If we can assist you, we'd be honored.
TSN 1200, home of the Ottawa 67s.
You know, a little chip in the windshield can turn into something much bigger. Before that happens, though, visit Uniglass Plus at Edgewater in Canada and on Westcar in Carp, uniglassplus.com.
Shots are 15-14 favoring the Senators with 10:38 to go in this second period, but it's been a disastrous first 9.5 minutes for Ottawa. They've missed opportunities in the offensive zone on the 2 shots that they have, glorious chances to tie the hockey game. The Leafs come back down. They get 2 power play goals, back-to-back power play goals from Tavares and Nylander. They've opened up a 4-1 lead. Senators need to get some composure back into their game.
Puck in the corner, Ottawa zone off the draw. McMahon tries to send it across to Domi. Amadio in to try and win it, does. Ridley Gregg taps it ahead and out to center. Here's Pinto. To the line, flips the puck in, goes to get it himself. Ekman Larsson puts up a screen so that his defense partner doesn't get smeared. And remember, interference does not get called in the playoffs. There's a shot by Domi from the wing, kicked out by Omar. Here's McMahon to get it. Has to wait for someone to come and check him. Sweeps it back to the net. Here's Domi now trying to get away from Shabbat. Back along the boards. McMahon tied up by Ridley Gregg. Puck in the corner. Now Nick Robertson. Cross-check to the ice by Nick Jensen. Puck comes back to the point and held in. Now out to center. Lead pass to the line. Here's Amadio. Gets inside the zone. Loses the puck on entry. And still has it. Goes cross ice. Brady Tkachuk with a shot and a pad save by Stolars. Loose puck. Back to the point. There's Matt Palo with a shot that gets blocked on the way there. Yarncroke chops it back out to center. Trickles to the Ottawa line. Now dumped back in by Giroux. Round the boards. Puck in the corner and Tkachuk to the other side. Here's Giroux. Along the board, sends it back to the other corner. On the other side, Stützle comes across, puts Tanev into the boards. Puck drifts all the way back down to the Ottawa end. Back of his own net to get it. Here's Matt and Palo. This game brought to you in part by the Myers Automotive Group and by GC Flooring. Out to center now. Here's Matt and Palo. Dumps the puck down inside the Toronto end. Along the boards. Scooped back of his own net by Carlo. Up the boards. It gets by Nyes and trickles back to the Senators' end. Here's Dylan Cousins now back of his own goal. Cousins gets away from Matthews. Cousins to the wing and in. Here's Batherson. Gets in. His shot off the post. Batherson chimes the iron and the puck is cleared back out to center.
That iron on the left side sings loudly here, Dean. Glove hand side shot from Drake Batherson.
Here's Perron in the corner with it. Puts it back to the net for Cousins. Cousins tries to refeed Perron. It doesn't work, but back to the point. Here's Jensen. Tries to fire it through. That's blocked. And back out to center. Now Marner can't get it out. Here's Batherson with it. Batherson along the boards. Drops it back. Jensen with a shot. Knocked down in front. Loose puck in the high slot. Bouncing. It finally cleared by Nyes. Gets to center and dumps the puck down inside the Ottawa end. Along the boards. Here's Jensen with it. Sends it ahead to the line and in. Ekman Larsson in his own zone to get it. Puck is cleared out to center, and now back in his own end to retrieve. Here's Thomas Chabot in the neutral zone. Is flipped to the corner by Pinto. Ekman Larsson back up the boards, but Pinto can't snare it, and the puck drifts back out to center. Tavares to the line and in, gets a shot gloved down by Ullmark, and he will hold on for a face-off as Holmberg goes to the net, and that draws the attention of several, and now a little meeting in behind the Ottawa goal.
Well, this is all well and good, the pushing, shoving, face washing, and everything else, and just trying to get yourself involved more than anything, but you cannot get pulled from the herd and end up going into the penalty box. The Senators have given, well, they've made way to 3 power play opportunities for the Leafs here in this second period, and Toronto has capitalized on 2 of them, including 1 5-on-3. Let's take a break.
4-1, Toronto leads in the second. Is the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
It may be just a little chip now, but it won't be long until that little chip turns into something much nastier. Uniglass Plus can fix that little chip and have you on your way in no time. And if something more unthinkable happens, they'll also replace your windshield too. Think Uniglass Plus for all of life's little chips and cracks, or protect the life of your car with window tinting and ceramic coating. Uniglass Plus. Visit them today at Westcar Lane in Carp or Edgewater in Canada. Uniglassplus.com.
Looking for your next vehicle? Come home to Myers Automotive Group, locally owned for over 80 years and proudly serving Ottawa-Gatineau with 17 locations. Over 2,600 vehicles in stock. We have what you're looking for. Choose from Nissan, Toyota, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Dodge, Jeep, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Infiniti, Ram, Chrysler, and Subaru. And we've got you covered long after the sale. We service all makes and models.
Has time faded and drained the beauty from your Persian or Oriental rug? Don't leave it in the hands of anyone. Trust Terry's Rugs. Terry's Rugs are Ottawa's 2025 Consumer Choice Award winners in the category of carpet and rug cleaner. And they specialize in the gentle hand washing and expert repair of your precious rugs. With a stellar 4.9 star rating on Google and Ottawa-Gatineau's largest selection of fine wool, hand-knotted, and machine-made rugs, Terry's Rugs is Ottawa's best area rug shop. Bring your old rugs back to life at Terry's Rugs, 50 Slack Road.
This is Drake Batherson, and you're listening to Sens Hockey on TSN 1200.
Janny King, experts in construction cleaning, final cleaning, site trailer cleaning, and more. For all your construction cleanup needs, call Janny King, the official cleaning company of the Ottawa Senators and Canadian Tire Center.
Our thanks to Drake Batherson taking us out of break here, Dean. He has 3 shots on goal, 1 goal, and he has stung one off post in behind the glove hand side of Anthony Stolarz in this 4-1 Toronto lead. Face off to the right of Linus Ullmark. Shots now even at 17 apiece. They were 13-5 at the end of one period of play. So 12-4 are the shots favoring the Leafs.
Since the Leafs scored their last goal to make it 4-1, they've had 7 shots. So I take that to mean, Gord, they're trying to score more.
Yes, good point by you. I'm passing the cape over to you, Dean, from Captain Obvious in this seat to Captain Obvious in your seat.
Thank you very much. I salute you, my friend. Face-off just outside the Ottawa line.
Hooking is going to be called here against William Nylander. Oh, boy, okay. Willie Stiles is heading off in the box for a hook. The puck got chipped into the Toronto bench, and well, I thought it was just business as usual off the Ottawa face-off, but Nylander is called for hooking. Going to have to see it on the replay. It came off the face-off, Dean, with Dylan Cousins going to the puck on the half-boards. He got it and chipped it off Simon Benoit into the Toronto bench, but he had the stick of Willie Nylander in the midsection, so Ottawa now with an opportunity here with their first power play of the evening.
Off the drop, puck is chipped back to the point. Here comes Mitch Marner, short-handed, down to the Ottawa line, flips the puck across to Matthews. Austin Matthews along the boards in his own, in the Ottawa zone, sends it around the boards and on the other side. Here's McCabe to get it. Slaps it back the other way. This power play brought to you by CAA North and East Ontario. And here comes Batherson out of his own end.
First 20 seconds belong to the Leafs penalty killers.
Sanderson the line, chips it in himself, taps it back to the net. Coming in, puck along the boards and back to the point. Brady Tkachuk gets it across to Stützle. Stützle now slings it back to the point. Sanderson gets it across There's a shot right on. Loose puck in front. Steered to the corner by Yarncroke, and he clears it back down ice.
Boy, the Senators, that shot, Dean, was going about 6 feet wide. They got a break, though, with it stopped out in front by, I think, Yarncroke, and the puck was there for the taking. Toronto took it.
Back out to center now. Here's Giroux. Down to the line and in. Gets in, drops it back for Perron. Here's Perron in the corner. Sweeps it back to the point for Chabot. Chabot, top of the circle. Here's Perron. Perron has knives all over him, drops it back. Here's Zetterlund, cross ice. Giroux knocks it down, his shot right on. Loose puck back in front. A blocker save from Stolarz off a one-timer from Zetterlund.
Kid can't buy a break here offensively.
In behind the net, Carlo gets swarmed, holds onto the puck, finally gets it across, and Benmo with a chance to get it out. Up the boards and does. Push it past Chabot and back out. Chabot back into his own end. 20 seconds to go in the Ottawa power play. Here's Giroux. Fires it back in. Along the boards, Brady Tkachuk tries to drop it back to the point, but the puck is cleared, not out. Held in. Here's Tkachuk. His shot misses. Back along the boards. Saved by Perron back in front. Here's Chabot at the point. Gets it across for Giroux. Fires it in. That one just missed, and it deflects up into the mesh. And a face-off in the Toronto zone just as Nylander comes out of the box.
Well, that's a good kill by Toronto, Dean. They dodged a couple of bullets here. The score remains 4-1 with 5:17 to go in this second.
You're listening to Sens Hockey on the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
I'm standing here with my head held high. For Canada. Hi, Brian Williams here. You know, over the years, I have been fortunate to work so many big international sporting events in so many different countries. And regardless of the country, the reaction was the same. Respect and admiration for Canadians and Canada. Shop as if your country depends on it. Keep your money in Canada for Canada.
Tom here. At Centennial Glass and Window, we've been proudly serving Canadians since the year of our nation's centennial, 1967. Canadian owned, Canada proud, always. And right here in Ottawa and the Valley, we've built a reputation as the go-to commercial glass service team, trusted by property managers, business owners, and general contractors alike. We handle the services your business needs most. Storefront glass repairs and replacement, door closers, panic bars and hardware fixes, 24/7 emergency glass service, sealed unit replacements, custom glass fabrication, and so very much more. We also specialize in custom glass canopies, vestibule upgrades, interior glazing, fire-rated glass systems, and full building envelopes, all installed with precision, professionalism, and on time. At Centennial Glass, we go high when others cut corners, because that's the Canadian way. It's our way, every day. From fast fixes to full retrofits. Trust the name that stands the test of time. Centennial Glass and Window, Ottawa's go-to commercial glass service.
Centennial Glass and Window is your go-to place.
You're listening to TSN 1200.
.5:17 to go in the second period here in Toronto. Leafs with a 4-1 lead over the Ottawa Senators. This game brought to you in part by Great Canadian Oil Change and by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
All right, so one power play opportunity in the books here for the Senators. They go 0-for-1. Their power play coming into postseason play, ranked 11th in the NHL. They were tied with Detroit for the most power play goals in 82 games of the regular season, Dean, with 64. 0-for-1 with the man advantage tonight.
Off the draw, back to the point. Here's Chabot. Sends one through. That hits a body on the way to the net. Never actually gets to Stolarz, and the puck is cleared out by Knives. Chabot out to center. Lead pass to the line intended for Brady Tkachuk, but he was being blocked from getting it from Tanev, so a face-off will come back down to the Senators zone. Now 5:02 to go in this second stanza.
Senators have to figure out a way to be better at the dots here, Dean. They've spent a lot of time in their own end off lost face-offs in their end. This will be Adam Gaudette up against Austin Matthews to the right of Linus Ullmark. The Leafs have won 53% of the draws to this point in the game.
Off the face-off. Gaudette wins it over Austin Matthews, and now here's Sanderson off the glass. Ahead to center, and Tim Stützle to the line. Stützle along the boards and in. Plays it back to the net. Here's Brady Tkachuk. And Tkachuk back to the point for Chabot. His shot knocked down before it gets to the net, and the Leafs clear it back out.
Okay, right now, Adam Gaudette on the line with Stützle and Tkachuk. It wouldn't surprise me at all, Dean, if we see Fabian Zetterlund up there next.
Here's Tkachuk moving in. His shot. Trying to go high glove. Missed. Stützle along the board. Shovels it back in behind the net. Brady Tkachuk gets turned around. Batherson comes in to try and clear out some space. And now Marner along the board. Sends the puck ahead and back out. Clevin through the middle of the ice to Perron. Along the boards for Batherson to chase. Tanev gets in there first. Here's Carlo now. Gets the puck ahead as he takes contact. Marner back to center with it. Got McMahon with him. Marner cuts against the flow, drops it off. Here's Morgan Riley to the corner. Fires a shot in that misses. Back to the point. Brandon Carlo, the former Bruin, to the corner. Brings around the boards on the other side. Here's McMahon. Flipped off his stick by Clevin, but not out. Now it's out, and Clevin through the neutral zone. Carries it to the line and in. Clevin sends it around the boards, and he takes some contact from Carlo. There's two very big men. It's like minivans colliding there. Puck along the boards in the neutral zone, and finally gets flipped by Carlo back down to the Ottawa end. Sanderson up on the wing for Ridley Gregg. Wicks off his stick to the corner. Here's Morgan Riley round the boards. Puck is picked up but not out. Zub holds it in. Pinto whips it to the corner. Here's Amadio in behind the net. Amadio out the other side. Throws the puck back to the point. Zub fires it in. The puck is deflected over top of the net by Ridley Gregg. Puck in behind the goal. It comes out and Tavares now chips it ahead but not out. Pinto holds it in. On the other side with it now. Puck is tipped ahead. Amadio cross ice. Here's Nick Jensen with it. Puts it back of the net. And around the boards. That gets it on the stick of Nylander. Down the right side. Dumps the puck inside the Ottawa end. Puck back to the net. Jensen slides through to get it. Along the boards. Highmore under siege. Gets some help from Jensen, who gives him the puck back. Gets to center with it. And dumps it down inside the zone. On the boards it goes. Pinching Chabot holds it in as Yarncrow couldn't get it out. Ekman Larsson turns back the other way with it. Simone Benoit sends the puck ahead down to the Ottawa line. Gathered up inside the zone by Matt and Palo. Takes a hit but throws the puck through center. It did not touch Gaudette on the way there, so icing the call. And a face-off back in the Ottawa end with 1:59 to go in period 2.
And again, an emphasis on a huge face-off. This time to the right of Linus Ullmark, and I'm just going to see what time Chabot. Okay, everybody's in good shape as far as being on the ice in this icing call. Gaudette at 47 seconds. And it's going to be Claude Giroux taking this draw for the Senators.
Off the draw, back to the point. Here's Tanev. Works the puck to the corner. Matthews turns and fires. Save is made by Ullmark, and the loose puck cleared to the corner. Highmore puts it back of the net. Now here's Madden Palo to center. Puck is deflected in. Ottawa gets their change. As the Leafs back up to center with it. Here's Tanev. Lead pass intended for Matthews. Misses. And they say that one did touch Matthews, so no icing call. I didn't hear or see any touch, but Ekman Larsson in his own zone. Off the glass and back out to center. Amadio delays at the line now, fires it back in, takes a weird bounce, and bounces back towards the front of the net, but Pinto couldn't get there in time to make a play out of it. As the puck is dumped in from the wrong side of center, and this time it is an icing call against the Leafs, and a face-off back down to the left of the Toronto goal.
Well, with 68 seconds left in the period, we'll see if the Senators can do some damage here in the final minute and a half of this period compared to the first minute and a half. They had a glorious chance to tie things up, and Brady was denied on a breakaway opportunity. He tried to go 5-hole, and Stolarz made a save. Shortly after that, it was Shane Pinto with a point blanker. Stolarz came up with a massive blocker save. He also stopped Zetterlund on a power play. He's been a difference maker in this period for sure.
So shot from the point that misses from Sanderson. Back to the point again. Here's Chabot to Sanderson. Final minute of play in the second. Another shot misses. Puck in the corner. Tkachuk knocks his man off the puck. Simone Benoit. Here's Stützle with a chance, and that's a save by Stolarz as he gets the glove on it. Leafs trying to clear it. Along the boards, here's Lawton. Knocked off the puck, but he does get it back out to center. Now Lawton and Brady Tkachuk tangle, and Tkachuk gives him the mid-ice face wash. Along the boards, here's Batherson. Shovels it across ice. Sanderson moves in. His shot knocked down in front. Puck comes free as Batherson goes for it.
Penalty coming up. Interference is going to be the call. Drake Batherson's going to go off. Dean, just a decision that is not in favor of the Senators, obviously. Batherson, I thought, had a chance to just go for the puck. Well, are they going to call both guys?
Yeah, I think Tkachuk and Lawton are going to go as well for roughing.
Or is this an even upper here?
No. He pointed at both of them. So Ottawa will have 2 in the box. Toronto will have 1.
Power play opportunity for the Leafs. The Drake Batherson penalty. Dean I thought he had an opportunity to go for the puck, and he took down his
Ottawa
man.
number 19 got 2 minutes for tripping. Ottawa number 7 and Toronto number 24, both 2 minutes each for roughing.
All right, so Lawton does his job here, and the Senators will be down 2 of their best offensive players going into the third period if there's no scoring in the final 12.6 seconds of this second period.
Wow, good trade-off for Toronto. Your 4th line center against Ottawa's 1st line left winger. That's a good trade for the Leafs.
That's why I said Lawton did his job. He's taken off Ottawa's captain here, and again, to start period number 3, you got 7 and 19 in the penalty box.
So this penalty kill brought to you by Alpine Credits. Face off to the right of the Ottawa goal with less than 13 seconds to go in the period. And they get the signal from the referee. Drop the puck, let's go.
Well, Giroux at 33% at the dot here this evening, Dean. Only taken 6 penalties, or 6 face-offs, but he wins this key one.
Sanderson clears it all the way down ice. Stolarz out to snare it. And now we'll do it for the period. A 3-goal lead for the Leafs after 40 minutes. And they will come back with 1:48 of power play time to open up period number 3.
Well, a real switch. The Senators with a really good, solid first period of play, out shooting Toronto 13-5. They're down by 1. They have an opportunity to tie it early on a breakaway by Brady Tkachuk. He fails to connect. Shane Pinto had an opportunity to tie it. He failed to connect, and then the Senators got, they had a composure issue, and they took some penalties that cost them dearly here. Back-to-back power play goals for Toronto made it a 4-1 game, and now it's a mighty struggle ahead here with just 20 minutes left to go in this hockey game.
So here at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, the score after 2 periods of play, the Leafs 4, the Senators 1. In a moment, the second intermission with Graham and Brad, brought to you by the Myers Automotive Group. You're listening to the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
This spring, elevate your drive with Audi. Spring into sophistication with exclusive lease rates from just 0.98%, plus up to $3,500 in Audi credits on select models. Drive luxury. Drive performance. Drive Audi. Visit Audi Ottawa, Audi West Ottawa, or Audi City Ottawa today. Limited time offer. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Audi. Progress you can feel.
Score big savings with Gabriel Pizza. Order up the game-winning play with the Gabriel Pizza Playoff Pack. 2 9-inch 2-topping pizzas, 10 boneless bites, 2 dips, and 2 drinks for just $39.99. The Gabriel Pizza Playoff Pack is available daily online at GabrielPizza.com, on the app, or by phone at 613-656-7777.
Gabriel's.
Gabriel Pizza, the official pizza of your Ottawa Senators.
A young mother locking her car to keep the precious food inside out of reach. Stretching meals one more day. Over 1 million of us in Ontario depend on food banks, including more than 1,200 food banks and hunger relief organizations supported by Feed Ontario. Please, give now at feedontariotogether.ca For the big change your pocket change can make.
Looking for your next vehicle? Come home to Myers Automotive Group, locally owned for over 80 years and proudly serving Ottawa-Gatineau with 17 locations. Over 2,600 vehicles in stock. We have what you're looking for. Choose from Nissan, Toyota, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Dodge, Jeep, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Infiniti, Ram, Chrysler, and Subaru. And we've got you covered long after the sale. We service all makes and models.
Experts say defense wins championships. At Dr. Andrea Stevens Dentistry, we feel the same way. Protecting your smile is our game plan, and we can help you defend your teeth for a lifetime. After all, a strong, healthy smile is a great advantage. Make the right play. Book your appointment today at Dr. Andrea Stevens Dentistry, where winning smiles start. Visit drandreastevens.com. Game on. Smile strong.
This is TSN 1200 Ottawa. Sens Intermission on TSN 1200 is brought to you by the Myers Automotive Group. Now, here's the play of the period.
Face-off, scores! Nylander off the face-off. 4-1 leads, and they stay on the power play.
Yeah, a couple power play goals during this game. It was 2-1. Ottawa was looking all right, and a couple undisciplined penalties. Another penalty or two that were questionable. I'm sure Sens fans are fired up about, and the Leafs take advantage. That one on a 5-on-3, right off the draw. The other one right off the draw as well. Time now for the second period scoring summary. Leafs got things started 7:09 in. Ekman-Larsson from Lawton and Yarncroke, 1-0. Marner then from Matthews on a breakaway, 12:18. It was 2-0 Leafs. Drake Batherson would score his first career playoff goal from Cousins and Perron at 16:18. 2-1 Toronto after 2. Then just 4:07 into the second. After 1. 4:07 into the second on a power play. Tavares from Nylander and Marner. 3-1, and then Nylander from Tavares on the power play on a 5-on-3 power play at 7:19. 4-1 Toronto. That's the score after 40 minutes. Shots on goal, 21-18 in favor of the Senators. Ottawa's 0-for-1 on the power play. Leafs are 2-for-3, and they have a minute 47 left on their fourth opportunity, which will carry over to the third period. This game's brought to you in part by Capital Upfitters and Protective Coatings. Coming up, it's the TSN 1200 St. Hubert Barbecue out of town scoreboard. And we'll analyze the second period with Brad Smith. This is Sens Hockey on the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Jan owns a home and a restaurant fusing French and Mexican cuisine. But she is fusing no more because her ovens have gone kaput. She called Alpine Credits, who sent their speedy superhero. With her business loan approved, her ovens were quickly fixed. The hero even had some of her poutine nachos. Yum! Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
I'm standing in awe and admiration for Canada. Hello, this is Peter Mansbridge. It's a reporter's duty to be unbiased, but I'm so proud of Canadians everywhere, standing united, buying Canadian products, supporting Canadian businesses, and our very way of life. Shop as if your country depends on it. Keep your money in Canada for Canada.
This spring, elevate your drive with Audi. Spring into sophistication with exclusive lease rates from just 0.98%, plus up to $3,500 in Audi credits on select models. Drive luxury. Drive performance. Drive Audi. Visit Audi Ottawa, Audi West Ottawa, or Audi City Ottawa today. Limited time offer. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Audi. Progress you can feel.
Hi, Arash Madani here. At Honda, they built the CR-V Sport just like you build a team for the playoffs. Reliable performance? It's a Honda. Versatility? You've got all-wheel drive. High IQ plays? That's Honda sensing technology. Resilience and grit? You bet. After all, it's Canadian. Make your playoff drive count. Bring home the Ontario-built CR-V Sport. Lease today with rates from 0.99% for 24 months. OAC conditions apply. Made with domestic and imported parts. See HondaOntario.com.
A devastating car accident can change your life in an instant. The lawyers at Diegendorf Rashid understand your fear, your pain, your loss of financial security. They understand the impact that serious traumatic injuries can have on your ability to work and function. Let Howard Jagendorf and Najma Rashid deal with the insurance companies to get you fair compensation while you focus on your health and recovery. Jagendorf Rashid Injury Lawyers. Focused, experienced, compassionate. Jagendorf.com.
TSN 1200. The Sens play here. Back to Sens hockey on TSN 1200. Now let's check out the out-of-town scoreboard. Brought to you by St. Hubert Barbecue, chicken, ribs, and hockey.
All right, one final to pass along from today. Shooter, the Hurricanes take a 1-0 series lead on the Devils with a 4-1 win.
Yeah, good start for the Hurricanes, and this is a year they gotta make a statement to get out of that first, second round, get to a conference final.
10 o'clock start from Vegas. Golden Knights host the Wild in Game 1 of that series. What are you expecting between those two teams?
Hard, heavy hockey, and that's what Vegas specializes in, and they're going to be a tough out.
The Americans beat Canada in overtime in the gold medal game at the Women's World Hockey Championships 4-3. The final, Canada was down 2-0, 3-2, rallied from both deficits, but couldn't get it done in overtime. To the NBA postseason, where the Oklahoma City Thunder smashed the Grizzlies today, 131-80, 51-point win as OKC leads 1-0. Celtics have a 1-0 series lead with a 103-86 win over the Magic. Cavaliers up 95-88 on the Heat with 7.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 9:30 tip from Houston, where the Rockets host the Warriors. Blue Jays fall 8-3 earlier today to the Mariners. This game is brought to you in part by Hulse Playfair. McGarry. Ottawa is trailing 4-1 after 2 periods of play, Shooter. And let's just start with what everyone's fired up about, looking at the text box, looking at Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of Sens fans calling it a ref show. I think really unhappy with the Stützle penalty, which was a boarding against Tanev, and the Gaudette cross-check on Matthews where they were already down. I don't think you can argue the Ridley Gregg cross-check. They did call it 5 and reviewed it, gave him 2. I think that was the right call. Hit the shoulder of Tavares and then rode up.
Yeah.
But Sens fans, I think, pretty fired up about the Gaudette and Stützle penalties. What did you think of those calls?
Stützle was the first penalty of the game, and he's hitting everything in sight tonight, which isn't naturally his game. But if you're going to call that in the corner, then you're going to have to call other infractions that were let go. So that's where I stand in the reffing. The Ridley Gregg one is self-explanatory, and you're 200 feet from your net, and that's a tough one to take. The Gaudette one, you're down a man. He could have let that go. The ref was right there. He's in position to make that call. But ultimately, you're going to have to make some saves here also. And
that was where I was going next. A lot of people want to see Omar. We got some text saying pull the goalie. What do you think of his performance?
I'm not there to pull him yet, but Stolarz is simply better tonight, and the rebounds are being kicked out. The Tavares goal is like a one-time pass back to him, and that made it 3-1. You lose a draw, and Nylander picks it up, and he's an elite goal scorer. He scoops in, but can you make that save? Or that save or the first goal of the game. Any way you look at it, you got to make a couple more saves here, like Stolarz is. And this game was 2-1 when Brady Tkachuk had a breakaway.
Yeah,
and that could have tied things up. And Pinto's had opportunities, Stützle's had opportunities. Batherson's probably been one of their best, most physical players. Has a goal tonight
and a post.
He was trying to go top shelf there. So they have to keep throwing everything they can at the net and try to crash within that blue paint and pick up a rebound. Even Zetterlund had one pop right out to him there. So they've had opportunities to score goals here. They just have to shut things down and just try to chip away.
Yeah, you mentioned all the ones I was going to highlight. The Tkachuk breakaway at the start of the period. Pinto with a great look around the hashes, and the Zetterlund one that goes off the shaft of the stick. And man, he keeps getting really good looks and unable to convert there. What would be what you'd want to see in the third period? Obviously, get through this kill. 1:47 left to kill on the Leafs' fourth power play opportunity of the game. But how do you get back in the game, or even also play for games 2 and 3 and 4 in the series in terms of finishing every check, make guys pay? What do you want to see?
So that's where I'm going with that. You kill the penalty to start here because that builds confidence. The Leafs already have a couple power play goals. So you kill that off, and you take a run at this thing. You get your best players out there as often as you can, the Stützle line. Maybe you roll them every third shift, and you just try to make life very difficult for the Morgan Rileys of the world, the McCabe's of the world, where you're finishing checks and you're playing territorially in the Leafs end.
We saw a little bit of Travis Green playing with the Lions. Gaudette had a shift with Stützle and Tkachuk. We saw a shift where Chabot and Sanderson were together. Do you expect that from Green in the third period? Maybe with Zetterlund with another line or something? Do you think he's going to tinker with things?
I think you'll see a little more of Zetterlund moving up and down the lineup, and we've come to expect that out of watching Travis Green's work throughout the year. And the defense pairings. I think it's Sanderson went out there with Thomas Chabot there. Thomas Chabot's had a tough night, I think, Reach, through 2 periods here, and just try to settle him down a little bit and get some stability back there.
All right, so the Sens find themselves in a pretty big hole, 4-1 heading to the third period, and they got 1:47 left of a Leaf power play to kill, which they haven't done well so far tonight. The Leafs are 2 for 3 with the man advantage. The second intermission has been brought to you by the Myers Automotive Group. Coming up, it is the call of the third period with Dean Brown and Gord Wilson. At the end of the second period, the score is 4-1 Maple Leafs. You're listening to Sens Hockey on the TSN 1200 Ottawa Senators Radio Network.
Playoff hockey returns to the nation's capital. Quick shot scores! Brady Tkachuk with an overtime game winner! Good gravy. Your Ottawa Senators have officially clinched their spot in the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let's go! Here we go!
To secure your playoff seats now and lock in the best price on these tickets, become a season seat member.
Here's Chabot, game on the stick, scores!
Canadian Tire Center is going to be on fire, so be there to witness the atmosphere. Visit senators.com/memberships.
This ad isn't funny or overly clever. There's no jingle, witty banter, or talk of some sort of clearance sale. Because like heart disease and stroke, which claim a life every 5 minutes, this message is deadly serious. At Heart and Stroke, we're funding and discovering medical breakthroughs to keep you and your loved ones alive. But we need all the help we can get. Go to heartandstroke.ca today. And together, we'll beat heart disease, beat stroke, and beat as one.
Hi, it's Keith and April from Bean Chevrolet Buick GMC. With so much going on, we want everyone to know it's super service as usual at beancars.ca.
Yes, we can tackle virtually any issue customers have with a car, truck, or SUV.
And with our truck center now fully staffed, we're doing safeties on trucks right up to 5 tons.
We increase our inventory of parts and tires before tariffs so we can keep prices down longer.
Our collision center is ready to handle any accident repairs you need.
And we can even crown spray your vehicle at Almont Crown.
Book an appointment online today at beancars.ca.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I don't want to say I'm a big deal, but I am a superhero. I love helping people consolidate their debts, and that's what I did for the Smiths. I took their bills and zoom! Wha-bam! Zap! Turn them into one low monthly payment. No, the sound's not necessary, but it's part of the fun.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
Looking for your next vehicle? Come home to Myers Automotive Group, locally owned for over 80 years and proudly serving Ottawa-Gatineau with 17 locations. Over 2,600 vehicles in stock. We have what you're looking for. Choose from Nissan, Toyota, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Dodge, Jeep, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Infiniti, Ram, Chrysler, and Subaru. And we've got you covered long after the sale. We service all makes and models.
TSN 1200, home of the Sens.
All right, welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena here in Toronto, everybody. After 40 minutes of play, the Leafs have a 4-1 lead. They led 2-1 after one. They scored a couple of power play goals in the second period and have taken a 4-1 lead. They outshot Ottawa 13-8. Dean Brown asked the question in the first period, would the Leafs be able to sustain their physical presence on the ice? They out-hit the Senators 21-20, according to NHL stats in that first period. They managed 2 hits in period number 2. So there's your answer, Brownie. Ottawa out-hit the Toronto Maple Leafs 15-2 in the second, but they were outscored 2-0. And Ottawa did have its chances. Brady Tkachuk in particular, minute 15 into the hockey game, had a breakaway, and Anthony Stolarz came up large. With about 3 minutes gone in the period, Shane Pinto had an opportunity, and again, Anthony Stolarz came up large. Now, for Ottawa, they are 1 for 3 on the penalty kill, 0 for 1 on the power play, and they will have their 4th kill to start this period. There's a minute 48 left in the Brady Tkachuk penalty. And he and Lawton both went off. And Drake Batherson is, hang on here now. There's still some confusion on the penalty time clock because Drake Batherson has to get in there as well, and his number has to get up on the score clock as well. And in any case, it's a power play for the Leafs to open up this third period of play. Trailing 4-1, Dean Brown. It's 5 total goals. What does that mean for the over-under?
That means going back down. We started the game at 5.5 after the first. It went up to 7.5, and now as we open up the third period, the over-under drops to 6.
2-0. So the Leafs get one and don't give one up on similar plays. They do get a power play here to start the third period. The core 4, by the way, that is often criticized over the last number of years in the postseason, combining for 7 points in the first 2 periods. Everybody with a goal and an assist except Austin Matthews, who has 1 assist on the night so far.
Leafs to the right and the Senators to the left as the puck goes down into the Ottawa zone. Cleared back into the Toronto end, and Nylander was able to just poke it back, and the Leafs are on the power play here as they start the third period. Marner bringing it to the red line and into the zone. Works along the boards, trying to play it back along the wall and got it into the corner, but had it knocked away. And it comes to center ice, and Nylander is there to Matthews. Matthews circles back to his own blue line. Leaves for Willie. Nylander into center. He'll hit the line and in, but had it knocked off his stick, and it is shot down the ice. Then Nylander is...
Boy, Ridley Gregg gave him a little extra shot.
He sure did. He fell right on top of his head. Matthews coming out of his own end. Straight up ice to center on the left wing for Nyes. Nyes tried to play it back to the blue line, but it was intercepted. And it is shot on a bounce down wide of the goal. And getting to it quickly there was Highmore. Highmore in the corner, now being chased by Marner. Highmore will play it all the way back out at center ice, and Shabbat has it there to Nick Jensen. Jensen in on the right side. Plays to the side of the goal. Played off a stick, and it's going to carry him all the way back into Ottawa territory.
A little bit of a lackluster start for the Leafs here.
Change on the power play. Oliver Ekman-Larsson misses Pinto with a hit. The puck goes around back of the net for Morgan Riley. Riley's going to whip it around back of the goal again and find Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but only 10 seconds remain in the power play. Domi hits the line and in on the right side into the slot and got a shot away, but it went off his stick and went harmlessly wide. Robertson now back to the point. Riley will have to hurry. He did, and the shot went just off a body wide of the Ottawa goal as the penalty is expired. Riley must have eyes in the back of his head because he got rid of that in a hurry, knowing someone was coming out of the box. He has it again on the near boards for Domi. Back to the point it'll go. Riley exchanging it with his defense partner. Now it got a shot away, and it is gloved by Ullmark. And he will stop play and bring a face-off in the Ottawa zone.
Ottawa Senators pretty aggressive right out of the chute here on the penalty kill. That's where you almost wonder, there are times like this, you know, the 3-goal lead in the third period and a power play, and you still go with the 5 forwards. I mean, I understand you make it 5-1, you put the game away. But there is sort of that mentality that you can't afford to give up a short-handed one and let Ottawa back into it.
Draw control by Ottawa, played out into the center ice area. Batherson will get it into the Toronto end. Lawton ringing the boards with it, and it is chipped by Yarncrook to get it out. Up on the wing it goes for Lawton. He'll backhand it down into the corner. Yarncrook goes in after it, but takes his man out of the play, but can't come up with the puck. Dylan Cousins will get to center and flip it in. Linus Ullmark has now given up 4 or more goals in 6 of his 10 career starts in the playoffs.
His last start was a 7-5 loss to the Florida Panthers. All of his playoff experience coming with Boston. Obviously, he was in Buffalo before that.
Yep. Here's Jensen for the Sens. Got to the red line and swings it around the boards. Tanev sends it back from whence it came. Sens send a shot to the net off the glove of Stolarz. Tanev settling things down nicely. Gets it up on the wing for Marner. Marner stick handles away from one to find Jake McCabe. McCabe, a lead pass for Nyes. He is drilled from behind by Thomas Chabot, who's heading to the bench. Nick Jensen back of the Ottawa goal. Leafs are getting a change in as well. Jensen, a pass in across the line, goes into the corner. Good hit there by Benoit. Puck comes back on the near boards for Pinto. Shane Pinto around the boards, and there's going to be a penalty here to Toronto. Zub into the slot, a shot that was blocked. The rebound stopped again by Stolarz. Centering pass, they score. Senators cut the lead in half. 4 minutes into third period play.
And it's Ridley Gregg that jumped on the loose puck. So Ottawa just keep hammering it towards the net and eventually found a spot. It started by a point shot off a skate. Rebound went to Michael Amadio. And Amadio tries to get it to the net and eventually bounces out middle of the ice to Ridley Gregg.
What was the penalty going to be for? Did you see anything?
No, that's, similar to the Nylander one, Joe, where a bit of a mystery, but a lot of time left for the Ottawa Senators. They'll come out here with a little more purpose, and the Leafs have not been as focused, Joe, here to start the third.
Played down into the Ottawa zone. Matthews with a hit. Puck comes up on the left wing, and it is Tkachuk getting it ahead to Artem Zub. Pass intercepted there by Tanev. Tanev getting it around the boards near side for McCabe. Long lead pass. Had no chance of getting it to Nyes, and the puck comes back in on the left wing. Tkachuk from an angle. And that's off the blocker of Stolarz and up into the screen and out of play. So the Leafs come out with a flat power play, do not really get any kind of scoring chance.
It's amazing how teams can draw energy off of that. But what you also notice on that Leaf power play is how aggressive the Ottawa Senators were, right? This wasn't sit back in the box. They were forcing the Leafs all areas of the ice. And that continued once they got back to 5-on-5.
Face off to the right in the Toronto zone. Robertson taking the draw off a face-off and got it up on the wing and poked the center ice and now brought in now on the left wing. Robertson looking back at the blue line, got it back to the point. Riley with a wrist shot. Deflection in front of the goal, and the Maple Leafs have regained a 3-goal lead. Did that go off? Bobby McMahon? Riley's point shot, I think, is going to find the distance.
McMahon, it looked like, took a swipe at it. Nick Robertson makes a nice play, curl inside the blue line. Right wing boards, threw it back to Morgan Riley. No, I think this actually goes off an Ottawa defenseman, Joe. It does change directions. Right in front of Linus Ullmark. I thought it was McMahon.
I did too.
I think it was the Ottawa defenseman standing to the left of Linus Ullmark, and the Leafs get a huge break.
45 seconds after the Gregg goal, Morgan Riley restores the 3-goal lead.
Look at Matthew Highmore that had it bounce off him. Number 15, the forward.
Perron to the side of the goal in front. Oh, what a save made by the left pad of Stolars. Puck along the boards to the point, kept in by Cousins. To the left point, and a wrist shot is blocked away by Stolars. And now Lorenz getting it freed up. I'm laughing because Brandon Carlo, somebody went to hit him and ended up flying away, going in the opposite direction.
Look like the Blue Jays that ran into Rudy.
Yes.
Rowdy Tellez the other day.
Here's a chance now with a shot that whistles high by Shane Pinto. Kept in by Ottawa to Zoom. His shot deflects wide of the Leaf goal. Centering pass went off of Stolars, and it is carried to center by Nyes. Nyes will flip it down into the Ottawa zone. Nylander into the forecheck, but can't come up with it. Sens get it up on the left wing side. They'll come to the red line and shoot it in. Around the boards, it's going to come to McCabe. He let it go to find Pontus Holmberg. He'll drop it back into the Toronto defense. Tanev to McCabe. McCabe up at the center for Tavares. Tavares, a high pass into the far corner. Couldn't find Marner there. Almost stolen by Pontus Holmberg, but now the Sens get it out at center, only to have it taken away by Matthews. In on the left wing, off the glove of Ullmark and wide. Good save by Ullmark there. Maybe the best save he's made of the game.
I mean, that was labeled for the far corner, and he just does get his glove on it.
Leafs have scored 5 times on 20 shots. Now, I know you and I aren't real good at math. I don't think that's a very good save percentage, Mr. Ralph.
That's about 5 goals every 20 shots, Joe.
Thank you, Tips. Here's Highmore.
I got a calculator on my phone.
Oh, you are really sharp. I'll tell you, you are on your game tonight. Oliver Ekman-Larsson back of the goal. Benoit trying to play it up the wall, did so to Robertson. His backhand didn't clear, but the Leafs get it to the line and out. Robertson to the red line. Plays it deep into Ottawa territory as Robertson getting shoved around by Fabian Zetterlund. Long lead pass has gone astray, and an icing call against Ottawa with 12-12 to play in the third period. What a huge goal that is from Morgan Riley.
I'll tell you something. From an Ottawa Senators standpoint, I know only 7:48 into the third period. This is actually something to build on. At least, as we say, come out with a flat power play. Ottawa then scores to make it 4-2. They were drawing a penalty at the time, delayed penalty. And then Morgan Riley gets the gift deflection on a wrist shot from the left point to restore the 3-goal lead. But I think for Ottawa, I mean, they've had some nastiness and some jump here in the third period.
Yarn Crook back of the goal. Lawton gets it to the point, sent back into the corner for him. Lawton protects the puck well to get it back to the point again. Then a long shot in front was knocked away, and Lorenz comes away with it. To the point again, and another shot deflects off a body and wide of the Ottawa goal. The fourth line has just had a marvelous game. They have been the best line the Leafs have had on the ice. Shift in and shift out.
5-on-5, absolutely.
Puck played to the line on the far side and just cleared by Perron to center. Left wing boards. Nylander sends it in. Pontus Holmberg into the forecheck. Tavares trying to help out. It goes to the far wing. Amadio will play it out at center, and the Leafs have it there. Jake McCabe shooting it right back in again. Crowd hasn't let up on Brady Tkachuk, have they? Here's a pass up on the wing for Amadio with a long shot that just missed on the far post. Kept in by Ottawa to the near corner. Riley will get there first. The veteran around back of the net for Brandon Carlo. That long reach and huge body pushes it up on the wing. Like a condor. That's a big bird, Mr. Ralph. Big wingspan, really big bird. Like a bigger than the one that used to be on Sesame Street.
What was his name?
Big Bird. Sent down into the zone. It goes into the Ottawa, into the Leaf. Marner playing it back of the goal into the near corner.
Who needs Google when we got each other?
We got each other here. Puck back in the Toronto end, and Riley dishes it off to his defense partner. Brandon Carlo ahead, and it's tipped in over the line by Knies. Down into the corner it goes, grabbed off there by the Sens. They don't get it free. It comes in front. Matthews to the point. Benoit, far side, a shot into the chest of Ullmark. Off OEL, who already has a goal in this one. 9:47 to play, third period of Game 1. Leafs 5, Ottawa 2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leaf.
Hello, it's me, Katie Nolan, host of Casuals on the SiriusXM Podcast Network. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm joined by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment to break down our favorite news stories from the sports world and beyond. It really doesn't matter what level of sports fandom or knowledge you have, just bring what you've got. We're all here to have fun and learn together. No judgments. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Love you. Mean it.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not, and then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. In case you missed it, on NHL Network Radio.
Butch-Navitz for the deflection. They shoot. They score! Jimmy Snuggerud. His first is a blue. 3-0 St. Louis. It's a power play goal. And in the biggest NHL game of his young career, he scores his first NHL goal. Smile away, kid. Smile away.
NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Under review.
Have wrestled with this one for a while, but I believe we've got our top 5 player of all time. Gretzky, Lemieux, or Howe, and I think it's Sidney Crosby for all-around play. Any discussion, no matter how you slice that loaf of bread, Sidney Crosby's in that discussion. Talk about high-level consistency.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. We deliver the NHL.
And I just wonder, Berkey, what your thoughts are on the Capitals. They are Exhibit A as to why a retool can work.
Yes, but it's early. Haven't had a playoff run yet. A lot of people taking bows right now that shouldn't be. I really like this coach. I think Chris Patrick, the GM, has done a real nice job. It is a retool, right? And the goaltending's been spectacular, but let's see. Don't pick out a parade route yet, boys.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have a take and don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, this show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Who was that? Tanev in front of the net that just tied that stick up.
I think it was Austin Matthews.
All right.
On the back check.
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
Well, Tanev would have been on the other side blocking it.
Brought out at center ice by Ottawa. Sanderson in on the wing, and the shot went high and wide, and it's caromed off the glass and gone out of play. Or did Stolarz get a piece of that? I think they're going to keep the face-off. No, they're bringing the face-off outside the blue line. So Stolarz did not get a piece of that. Oh, no, wait. Check that. We're going to a commercial break. They'll face it off from the Leaf end when we come back. Leafs 5, Senators 2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Want to get in on the action for the Stanley Cup playoffs? At Bet365, we've got you. From game props, player props, totals, and the money line. You can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, the Stanley Cup champions, and much, much more. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
When you get a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and class-leading safety included, it's like you also get a Subaru that comes with your very own golf club holder, stadium parking navigator, a basketball team transporter, a remote cottage finder, a beaver spotter, a coach hauler, bear country guide, a family road trip carrier, a muddy road controller, extreme wind stabilizer, plus a... And we're out of time. Subaru is the multi-tool that masters every unpredictable weather condition. Visit your local Subaru dealer for great lease and finance options.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs playoff hockey.
John Tavares set up by Willie. The Leafs win it in overtime.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
8:23 to play third period. Face off in the Toronto end. Senators now with 29 shots. Maple Leafs with 20 as Marner gets the puck out at center ice and down into Ottawa territory, but a little too much mustard on it turns into an icing.
Thanks, Starman. We just found that the Leafs with the goals by Ekman Larsson and Morgan Riley. It's the first time that the Leafs have collected multiple defensemen scoring in a playoff game for the first time since Game 5 of the 2001 Stanley Cup playoffs against the New Jersey Devils.
Wow. Off a stick down into Ottawa territory. Olmark will leave it there for Jake Sanderson. Sanderson starts out. Comes to center with a pass ahead for Giroux. Giroux hits the line and in. Shabbat trying to catch up to it. McCabe blocked it. It comes into the slot area. Sanderson doesn't shoot it. There's a shot. Knocked down in front of the goal and cleared back of the net by Jake McCabe. McCabe spins away from a hit, but it comes back to the point. Here's Shabbat. Shot blocked by Nyes. He's trying to get back up after blocking that shot. And the crowd has given him all of the help he can as it's flipped out, and Nyes will get to the bench for a rousing salute.
Say what you want, this fan base still loves the Tucker, Corson, Brian McCabe mentality of sacrificing everything, especially when it comes to the postseason. Now, was that the left hand that might have caught Matthew Nyes? That's probably scarier than taking it off to the side of the leg, isn't it?
Yeah. Face off in the Ottawa zone after an icing. Draw one by Toronto. Nylander drops for Benoit. Shot deflected wide of the goal by Pontus Holmberg. Cleared to the line, but not out. OEL on the right side with a wrist shot that deflects into the near corner. Leafs trying to spend some time in the Ottawa end. Puck comes to center. Dylan Cousins got to the blue line. Turnover there. Here's Batherson dropping it back. Perron cuts to the middle of the ice with a shot that's blocked, and a penalty coming here.
There's to Ottawa.
I think Oliver Ekman Larsson got
drilled to the right of the Leaf net.
Yeah.
And this is another Ottawa penalty.
Oh, wait a minute. Now Tavares is headed that way.
Wait.
Oh, no. Tavares is headed to the face-off circle.
Ottawa number 19, 2 minutes for cross-check.
That is the fourth penalty Ottawa has taken in the Leaf end. And the third cross-checking. Boy, this was just trying to do a little dirty little cheap shot. Coming in from behind Ekman Larsson to get to the front of the net. And from a Leaf standpoint, Joe, you got to make them pay. You got to rub their nose in it here with 6:55 to go.
Face-off will be to the right of Linus Ullmark. 6:55 to play in the third period. The Leafs 5, Senators 2.
Boy, somebody going to the dressing room as well.
Cousins, I think, is
Is that a misconduct, maybe?
I would think, although that's not been announced. Draw to the right of Ullmark. Tavares won the draw, comes back to Marner at the point. Wrist shot coming! Big rebound in front of the goal, and they score!
Make them pay.
Matthew Knies jams it home! 6-2 Leafs!
And again, how simple has it been for the Leafs on the power play to have success? Throw it to the net. Whether it's Marner, whether it's Nylander. Here's Marner again. Throws it to the net with Matthew Knies in front. I think the Marner shot hits Knies, goes to Matthews. Matthews tried to jam it in short side, but the Leafs get another fortuitous bounce as it goes off Ullmark across the top of the crease, and Matthew Knies has a 3-footer from the blue pen.
30th of the year.
Let's take it. I believe Knies' last goal was in overtime, was it not? A game 5 in Boston.
Here's the Leafs after it again. A centering pass by Domi. McMahon couldn't get it in front of the net, and the Sens will get it out at center and down to the Leaf blue line. Morgan Rielly trying to force his man wide, and the shot deflects into the corner. Brandon Carlo after his man on the far side. Grabbed off by the Sens and played back to the blue line. Long shot blocked. And Robertson is able to muscle it out at center, and Domi sends it the rest of the way. And Domi taking a couple of extra shots. Here the Leafs after it in the corner, though. And McMahon couldn't get it in front of the net. Fourth line out there again for Toronto.
Yeah, Dylan Cousins, it is 10-minute misconduct.
Tanev in the near corner in the Toronto zone. Off a stick, but it'll be an icing. No, icing waved off. The goaltender came out to play it. Sens send it in on a delayed offside, and it's whistled down.
We got another penalty coming up.
Scott Lawton.
Boy, this is going to be something Ottawa is going to have to clean up. The discipline.
Ottawa, number 43, 2 minutes for high sticking.
And the survey, so a lot of cross checks, high sticks. And like I said, I think there have been some positive things from Ottawa here in the third period. Yeah, this was more of an accident than it was a dirty play in behind the play.
6-2 Leafs. Back to the power play they go. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan on the Maple.
From the roots of Motown and R&B.
Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman.
To the groovy rhythms of the 70s. Music icon Smokey Robinson is delivering his very own channel of 60s and 70s soul hits and stories of his career.
Hey, it's Smokey Robinson. Music is my life.
Whether you're cruising or just vibing at home, let your soul shine with Smokey's Soul Town. Channel 74 and at home on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
December 15th, Vancouver Canucks were in the playoffs. And this is when they had that big controversy going on. So they had to do something about it. And they did do something about it. Well, now they're not in the playoffs. You know what? They're not even really close anymore. This is the most absurd season falling apart. The most disappointing team this season of the 32 are the Vancouver Canucks.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff. What would finishing first overall mean to the organization, Kevin?
Well, I think anytime that, you can finish in an area where you're getting recognized, it's special. But again, the important thing for us is process. Is when we buy into playing the way we need to play, then, we feel comfortable that we'll win more games than not. And then you let the chips fall where they may.
The Power Play. Weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the Sirius XM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Just search for your favorite club.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Right to the front of the net, jams at it, and Omar makes the save. Love that idea.
No, absolutely. Take it to the net. By the way, I know a lot has been made of Linus Ullmark's 3-6 career playoff record. But his save percentage, Joe, in those games, .887. In his 10 playoff appearances, 9 decisions.
Not going to get any better tonight.
No, it's not.
Face off to his right again. Draw one by Toronto. Tavares gets it back to Marner on the wing for Nylander. Top of the circle, near side. Nylander looks in front. Still with it, down low. Tavares in front of the net for Nyes, and he couldn't jam it home. Tavares off the boards, gets there to get the puck free again. Back to the point, it comes in front of the net, and Ullmark.
Well, Ullmark ended up sitting on top of Matthew Nyes. Nyes got hung up on a goalpost, and Ullmark sat on him.
Oh, he gave him pretty good butt end, too.
Yeah. It's safe to say Ottawa got to clean up the discipline department. Maybe part frustration. Part.
5 minutes left in the third. Sens ring it around the boards, but Matthews got over there to trap it and keep it in the zone. And then a bad pass gets by Tavares and back into the Toronto end. Nylander cruising back into his own zone. Gave it to Marner. No, don't be. Nylander having difficulties with it. Finally finds Matthews, who comes down the left wing and in. To Nyes on the left wing boards. Tried to play it back. It comes free for Marner, but it's poked out at center, and Ridley Gregg trying to drive against Marner. And a crash into the goal post. Down is Stolars. Is he all right? Yes.
I think this is goalie interference. I think I don't think he's taken down. He just falls and slides right into Stolars.
Matthews getting it back of the net for Domi. Max couldn't come up with it. Shot out and down the ice. And Stolars is going to wait for it to get into the trapezoidal area and leave it there. 3:56 to play in the third. 22 seconds left in the power play.
Well, Shane Pinto and Matthew Nyes giving it to each other going to the bench.
Robertson sends it in over the line. Shabbat spun off the puck there by Domi as it comes to the right point. Walking the line, OEL into the slot. Puck in front of the goal. Intercepted there and poked to the line, but not out. Oliver Ekman-Larsson a shot, and that deflected wide. Boy, Stolars was pounding that stick to make sure everybody knew someone was coming out of the box. Played in on the left wing, driving the net. Stutzla poke check. Johnny Bauer didn't do it any better.
I think
but a penalty coming to Toronto.
Might be Ekman-Larsson. is going to go for the trip with 3:18 to go. All right, a couple of notes. The last time the Leafs had 6 goals in a playoff series. Or is it going to be Stoll, or is this going to be Evan? No, Ekman Larson coming. Last time the Leafs scored 6 goals in a playoff game, Joe, April 26, 2002. A 6-3 win over the New York Islanders. Last time they had 3 power play goals in a game was against the Buffalo Sabres in Game 1 of the 99 Eastern Conference Finals.
Penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Get home ice advantage on every drive with the new Civic Hybrid, proudly built here in Ontario. Visit your Ontario Honda dealers today. 3:18 to play in the third. Second power play of the game for Ottawa. Lawton wins the face-off cleanly, and it is ripped down the ice by Calle Jarnkrok. Sens back in their own end. Through center. Sanderson drops. Stützle brings it in on the right wing for Pinto. Into the corner for Stützle, but a bad pass back to the blue line. Goes all the way back into Ottawa territory.
I think this is a big kill for the Leafs. Just an exclamation mark on this game.
Brought forward by Stützle. Gets it into the corner. Swings it around the boards to the near side for Pinto. Pinto into the corner. Brandon Carlo against the boards, freed it up.
What a play.
And here's a great rush now coming to center ice by Pontus Holmberg. You were talking about Brandon Carlo, I think.
Oh, I mean, fends off 2 guys, kicks it to his stick, and then just plays it up to Holmberg to carry the puck out of the zone.
56 seconds left in the power play. Stützle. 2:11 left to go. Third period, a 6-2 Toronto lead. Left wing boards for Perron. Back to the blue line, just kept in. Perron down at the side of the net, goes to the far half boards. Looking back for Chabot and finding him. Chabot near side for Giroux. Giroux holds, tries to pass it in front. They do, and Stolarz is there again. Zetterlund getting in a pushing session there with Simon Benoit. But the Leafs do such a good job of boxing out.
Yeah, and a lot of that, Joe, is when you got trust in your goaltender, let them see it. You're not afraid of them to shoot, and without overstating the obvious, when you look at save percentage and everything else at the other end with Linus Ullmark, a lot of the goals he's been beaten on have been one-on-one shots. You know, there was the deflection on the Riley goal. There was a rebound on the Tavares goal. He had a number where...
Draw one by Ottawa. Chabot off a stick, broken up. Scotty Lawton carries to the red line and just banks it down into the left wing corner. Penalty is 16 seconds left in it. Chabot coming out, dropping it off on the right wing side for Nick Jensen. Jensen will send it around the boards to the far side. Lawton along with Tanev blocking that as it comes to the point. Chabot can't shoot it. Penalty is over. OEL is on the ice. The Leafs get it out at center, and Lawton pushes it back into Ottawa territory with 1:08 left to go. They're on their feet at Scotiabank Arena. Played into the corner in the Toronto end. Along the boards, Robertson couldn't get it out. Blocks it now. Robertson didn't see it, but a penalty is coming to Toronto, I think. Who was that? Clevin took a healthy run at somebody. Now we got everything kind of going sideways. A couple of pushing and shoving sessions. Benoit's trying to drag one of the Senators out at center ice. If he'd like a go with him, it would be Matthew Highmore. If he does, now we got Domi trying to get at somebody.
That's good. That linesman going to try to break this up. And it'll be interesting to see what the penalty was, and especially in the last minute of a game, which could lead to a suspension.
Max is being sent to the warm water and dry towels.
Is this some sort of mindset of the Ottawa Senators that these are the Leafs that everyone thought was soft in the playoffs and could be intimidated. I don't know if this is the same too.
Bad scouting.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that it might have been a pretty valid argument in the past. But I think what you saw was Simon Benoit and Matthew Highmore. Or is this a Leaf penalty coming up?
Oh, Nick Robertson.
My apologies.
Yeah.
It was a blocked shot and Robertson's stick came up. But then, I think the Ottawa Senators might have evened things up here. Was it Clevin at the end?
Yeah, and then
took a run at somebody, and then
Gaudette got into it with Domi. And Simon Benoit and Highmore didn't want to have anything to do with Simon Benoit.
Well, yeah, Nick Robertson came out, blocked the shot, and then when he tried to jump past the Ottawa defenseman, he got his stick up and clipped him.
So we're going to have to sort this out.
I just thought the penalty was, I didn't hear the whistle that it was that quick. And it was going to be on Robertson. And I think that's the initial call, 43.7 seconds left. And like I said, Joe, I really think the penalty kill by the Leafs late. I know nobody's going to look back and say, hey, remember that penalty kill they had in the 6-2 lead in the third period? But I just think it was an exclamation point. We aren't giving you an inch. We're not backing down from the game plan. And I think from Ottawa...
And they're playing 60 minutes.
Yes. Somebody is...
Original penalty on the ice to Toronto, number 89, 2 minutes for high sticking. Ottawa, number 15, has 2 minutes for roughing. And then Toronto, number 2, 11... 25, 74, and 89 have 2 minutes for roughing. And then Ottawa, 43, 15, 22, 33, and 81 have 2 minutes for roughing.
I thought it was a play.
4-on-4.
Wait, excuse me.
Could you just fill us in on what all of that was?
Just a sec. Can you do that again, please? I just... and do it with a little rhythm, like you're telling a phone number.
89, 64, 2, hike. Oh, wrong sport.
Oh, now we missed. He had a footnote at the end there that we missed. It looks like we're going to be playing 5-on-5, though.
Oh, I thought he said 4-on-4.
Let's see.
Nope, 5-on-5. All right. Are the Leafs short-handed?
No, I'm going to face off and be in the Leafs zone.
Brandon Carlo has gone to the Leafs dressing room as well. I can't remember if his number was read off.
No.
Now there's about 3 of the Senators are off to the dressing room as well.
Well, this game goes to overtime. We're playing 3-on-3 regardless, right?
Benoit's gone to the dressing room.
Yeah, we're running out here. Now, Ottawa has 4 players on. There's the 5th comes over.
Craig Berube's got the Leafs' 4th line out there. And it looks like we have finally got it sorted out. And the draw won by Ottawa. Zoo gets it down into the Leaf end. They're still on their feet here at Scotiabank Arena. Puck along the boards. Senators trying to come out of the corner with it. 28 seconds left. Point shot off a leg wide. Rebound in along the boards back to the Toronto net. Jake McCabe flipping it up on the wing, but it won't clear. Senators get it back to the point. Zub in along the boards. That's deflected. Grabbed off by Lorenz. He gets it out at center. And then Pontus Holmberg is tackled by Nick Jensen.
What is Jensen doing? Shane Pinto just suckered Chris Tanev.
Yeah, Pinto and Tanev pushing. Nothing more is going to come with the horn sounding, or is it? Jake McCabe's over there. Well, I always thought this was going to be a nice, quiet Battle of Ontario that wouldn't have any animosity attached to it, but I guess I'm wrong.
You know what? I like the fact that the Leafs didn't want to continue on with this. It's look, we did what we came here to do in Game 1. I don't know whether it's Ottawa thinking they can send a message for the next game. Their discipline cost them a lot in this one. 3 power play goals for the Leafs. By my count, 4 penalties taken in the offensive zone by Ottawa. And I realize you're trying to send a message in the third period. I thought the first 5 or 6 minutes from Ottawa was a pretty good message. The Leafs came out flat. Ottawa pushed, made it 4-2 before the Leafs were able to take over the game thanks to the power play goal by Nyes and the goal by Morgan Riley to put this one out of reach.
3 stars, and I'm going to do a 4th star. And the 3 stars brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. My 4th star,
right.
This crowd. We have criticized them. We've criticized them in the postseason. They were on fire from the start of this game to the finish. So I'm giving them the 4th star.
Yeah, it was not reactive, as they've been accused of being, although they had plenty to react to in this one. We'll go star number 3 for the Leafs. Some huge stops, and I would still go to a turning point in this game was the breakaway save off Matthew Tkachuk by Anthony Stolarz. He stops 31-33 in goal for the Leafs, his first ever Stanley Cup playoff win. Star number 2, John Tavares, huge power play goal in the second period to restore the Leafs' 2-goal lead. 2-point night for him. And Mitchell Marner, 3 points in Game 1 of this series. We can criticize the crowd. There's been a lot of criticism for the core 4, and the core 4 was pretty good on this night for the Leafs. Austin Matthews didn't score, but assists in the game. So we got the goaltending, which I think has been a concern in previous years over the last 7 or 8. And certainly they got the power play going, and the big boys showed up. And another honorable mention, the 4th line was outstanding.
What if I open my soul? Here I stand by myself on my own. What if I lose all control and take a step out into the unknown? Oh, oh, oh. What do I know? you started. Don't like the feeling that I've been fooled, deceived, and so misguided.